A quotation guide. Inspired quotes and ideas introduction. I collected a bunch of quotes, one-liners and positive ideas people put out there from different cultures all over the world throughout history. Quotes are snippets of wisdom, information, knowledge, and positive ideas that are often attributed to individuals, but nobody knows for sure whether these particular people were the first to say these things or if these ideas were just attributed to them. There is almost nothing that's original anyway. Somebody has already thought of most good ideas people come up with. If you go through 30,000 quotes or so about life and wisdom as I have, you soon realize that there are only a few common qualities that make up a good, interesting, strong, courageous, noble, moral life. At heart, everybody gets tired, discouraged, weak, lazy and old. If you don't release the energy in your spirit and renew it every day, you lose pretty well everything. All anyone has got is a sense of spirit. Once that goes, either fight to get it back or be average like most people who live average lives working average jobs, paying their bills, getting no highs out of life except for the cheap thrills they buy, which are nowhere near as good as creating a good feeling through what you do by releasing the natural energy in your free spirit. There is a common cliché that men sometimes use in describing someone. If someone says he lost it, everybody knows what it means, someone who has let themselves go. Whereas once they were bright-eyed, strong, and inspired, now they're overweight, lethargic, and have no sense of urgent passion to do anything. I saw The Ultimate Warrior, a professional wrestler who retired in 1998. Then in the year 2014, I saw him on a YouTube video. I didn't recognize him at first because his hair was gray and his body was soft. He lost something. He died at the age of 54. At one time, he looked like the greatest athlete ever. If you lose that sense of life within yourself, you've lost everything. These little books I write might help you get some of it back if you have lost that spark for life you might have once had. There is a loose base of finite knowledge that constitutes basic one-liner wisdom. I tried to create that base here by gathering loads of optimistic ideas and filtering them to end up with what I think is a good book to read for entertainment and inspiration. Many quotes are convoluted. I've taken the liberty to reduce them down into plainer language. There is no copyright on short quotes, which is why I don't bother attributing names to many of them. I'm trying to create book of positive, uplifting ideas. That's it. There is a lot of meaningless psychobabble out there. I tried to put as little as I could in this book, but I couldn't help putting some in because it's everywhere as accepted uplifting dogma. Know your soul and honor it by releasing that natural energy every day. Everything else is pretty well minor next to these statements. I created this book to release my own natural inspired energy. I got an uplifting feeling out of putting it together. Maybe I help some people get something good out of it. Everybody gets lazy, down, tired, or just plain uninspired. Sometimes it's good to read other people's stuff to help bring yourself back to a strong, inspired sense of identity. Your library has several quote books like Bartlett's famous Quotations, Oxford Dictionary of Quotations, Simpson's Contemporary Quotations, probably at #.031, #155-158, #170.44, #808.80-88 or BJ1481 and PN6084. Nothing should be forced or artificial. You should live by the natural intuition you feel. I created this book to release my own natural inspired energy. I got an uplifting feeling out of putting it together and hope I help some people get something good out of it. The following are all one-liner bits of wisdom that you might find useful or that you might think is a pile of data. I'm just regurgitating what I find at #155-158 and number 170 at the library. Chapter 1. Quotes in specific topics. Love quotes 1. Your library has several quote books like Bartlett's famous Quotations, Oxford Dictionary of Quotations, Simpson's Contemporary Quotations, probably at #.031, #170.44, Hashtag 808.80-88 or BJ1481 and PN6084. There are many general quote books with some love quotes intersprinkled amongst them at. My favorite, simplest quote is, "Love is making another person's happiness your happiness." Everything in love comes down to this one, simple sentence. While doing my research in looking for love quotes, I came across several thousand throughout history, and the thing that struck me about them was the range of disparity among attitudes to love. Some people think it's great. Others think that true love is very rare, while still others think love is stupid and destroys people's lives. Some of these love quotes are so controversial that I think they would be a good conversation topic for a pair of lovers. Simply go through the list, and when you come upon interesting quotes, discuss your feelings about them with each other. A guy knows he's in love when he loses interest in his car for a couple of days. Tim Allen. A million words wouldn't bring you back. I know, I have tried. Neither would a million tears. I know because I've cried. A man falls in love through his eyes, a woman through her ears. Woodrow Wyatt. Alice Thornton, 1668. She went on gazing at Leonidas with the expression of a 6-year-old contemplating a large slice of chocolate cake. Sarah Caldwell, The Shortest Way to Hades, 1984. Love is strongest in pursuit, friendship in possession. An archaeologist is the best husband any woman can have. The older she gets, the more interested he is in her. Agatha Christie. Love is the ultimate deception. Giacomo Leopardi. Passion is in all humanity. Without it, religion, history, literature and art would be rendered useless. Honoré de Balzac. To love someone is to be the only one to see a miracle invisible to others. François Mauriac. Human love is often but the encounter of two weaknesses. François Mauriac. It is the woman who chooses the man who will choose her. Paul Geraldi. True love is a quiet, shining light. Giuseppe Ungaretti. Love was a terrible thing. You poisoned it and stabbed at it and knocked it down into the mud, well down, and it got up and staggered on, bleeding and muddy and awful. Like Rasputin. Jean Rhys. The bitterest creature under the heaven is the wife who discovers that her husband's bravery is only bravado, that his strength is only a uniform, that his power is but a gun in the hands of a fool. Pearl S. Buck. Most gentlemen don't like love. They just like to kick it around. Cole Porter. Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. Cole Porter. Tragedy, to fall in love with a face and marry the whole woman. Julian Tuwim. A virtuous girl never chases after boys. Whoever saw a mousetrap chasing mice? Julian Tuwim. Marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder. Thornton Wilder. If you would be loved, love and be lovable. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. I was not yet in love, but I was in love with love, and from the depths of my need, I hated myself for not more keenly feeling the need. Ben Franklin. It warms me, it charms me, to mention but her name. It heats me, it beats me and sets my heart aflame. Blaise Pascal. Love doesn't consist of gazing at each other but in looking outward in the same direction. Christopher Marlowe, passionate shepherd to his love. Here's to the woman that I love. And here's to the woman that loves me, and here's to all those that love her that I love. And to those that love her that love me. When you love someone, you do not love them all the time in exactly the same way. And yet this is exactly what most of us demand. We leap at the flow of the tide and resist in terror its ebb. Dorothy L. Sayers, Busman's Honeymoon, 1937. I believe in the curative powers of love as the English believe in tea or Catholics believe in the miracle of Lourdes. Joyce Johnson, Minor Characters, 1983. If you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with. Doubt thou the stars are fire. Doubt that the sun doth move. Doubt truth to be a liar. but never doubt I love. William Shakespeare. Every heart sings a song, incomplete, until another heart whispers back. Those who wish to sing always find a song. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. Plato. Gravitation cannot be held responsible for people falling in love. Albert Einstein. If you want something very, very badly, let it go free. If it comes back to you, it's yours forever. If it doesn't, it was never yours to begin with. I am a marvelous housekeeper. Every time I leave a man I keep his house. Sasa Gabor. I fell in love with you for all the wrong reasons. I fell in love with someone else for no reason at all. Commentary on Love, Movie Dinner at Fred's, 1997. I never believed in love at first sight, but I believe what I'm feeling tonight. I was nauseous and tingly all over. I was either in love or I had smallpox. Woody Allen. If love is a 10, women get 3 times 3, men get 1. Tiresias, Greek mythology. If you have it, love, you don't need to have anything else, and if you don't have it, it doesn't matter much what else you have. Sir James M. Barrie. If love is the answer, could you rephrase the question? Lily Tomlin. In an instant and forever, love can make a fool seem clever. It is probably not love that makes the world go around, but rather those mutually supportive alliances through which partners recognize their dependence on each other for the achievement of shared and private goals. In your presence, I fell in love with the best of myself. Jessie Lair, I ain't much, baby, but I'm all I got, 1974. And what do all the great words come to in the end but that? I love you, I am at rest with you, I have come home. Katharine Hepburn, Look, February 18, 1958. After the door of a woman's heart has once swung on its silent hinges, a man thinks he can prop it open with a brick and go away and leave it. Life without love is like a tree without blossoms or fruit. Khalil Gibran. One is very crazy when in love. Sigmund Freud. There is a land of the living and a land of the dead, and the bridge is love, the only survival, the only meaning. Lorraine Hansberry, A Raisin in the Sun, 1959. The greatest happiness in life comes from being loved, either loved for who you are or in spite of it. Bereft of most dear and tenderly loving husband that took part with me in all sorrows, comforted me in sadnesses. We walked together as dear friends. His love was mine, in his sickness I was afflicted. Love doesn't make the world go round. Love is what makes the ride worthwhile. Franklin P. Jones. Love is like water, we can fall in it, we can drown in it, and we can't live without it. When a man of 40 falls in love with a girl of 20, it isn't her youth he is seeking but his own. Lenore Coffey. Love cures people, both the ones who give it and the ones who receive it. Carl Menninger. Love wasn't put in your heart to stay. Love isn't love till you give it away. Love ceases to be a pleasure, when it ceases to be a secret. Afra Ben. Love is our true destiny. We do not find the meaning of life by ourselves alone. We find it with another. We will never be fully real until we let ourselves fall in love either with another human being or with God. Thomas Merton, Love and Living. Love is the river of life in the world. Henry Ward Beecher. Love, in the divine alchemy of life, transmutes all duties into privileges, all responsibilities into joys. W.M. George Jordan. It is the emptiness we love, touch, enter in one another and try to fill. Love is a fire. But whether it is going to warm your hearth or burn down your house, you can never tell. Joan Crawford. Love is what makes two people sit in the middle of a bench when there is plenty of room at both the ends. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances, if there is any reaction both are transformed. Marriage is the triumph of imagination over intelligence. Second marriage is the triumph of hope over experience. Samuel Johnson. Men always want to be a woman's first love. Women want to be a man's last romance. Vanity is so secure in the heart of man that everyone wants to be admired, even I who write this and you who read it. Now you don't see it, now you do. Commentary on Love, movie Dinner at Fred's, 1997. One word that frees us all the weight and pain of life, that word is love. Sophocles. When myself is not with you, it is nowhere. Real love stories never have endings. Richard Bach. Only the really plain people know about love, the very fascinating ones try so hard to create an impression that they soon exhaust their talents. Romance is the icing, but love is the cake. Some people will die for love, others will die because they lost it. Sometimes I wish I were a little kid again, skinned knees are easier to fix than broken hearts. There is always something left to love. And if you haven't learned that, you ain't learned nothing. Stephen Stills. Come live with me and be my love. And we will all the pleasures prove. That valleys, groves, or hills or fields, or woods and steepy mountains yield. The greatest weakness of most humans is their hesitancy to tell others how much they love them while they're still alive. Orlando A. Batista. The deepest principle of human nature is the craving to be appreciated. William James. Love is all you really need. All you need is love. The Beatles. There is only one kind of love, but there are thousands of different copies. French proverb. This is true love. Do you think this happens every day? The Princess Bride, movie. The greatest love is a mother's. Then comes a dog's. Then comes a sweetheart's. Here's to one and only one. And may that one be he who loves but one and only one. And may that one be me. There are very few of us who have heart enough to be really in love without encouragement. In 9 cases out of 10, a woman had better show more affection than she feels. To fall in love is easy, even to remain in it is not difficult, our human loneliness is cause enough. But it is a hard quest worth making to find a comrade through whose steady presence one becomes steadily the person one desires to be. Anna Louise Strong. To fall in love is awfully simple, but to fall out of love is simply awful. True love is like ghosts, which everyone talks about but few have seen. True love begins when nothing is looked for in return. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. We can do no great things, only small things with great love. Mother Teresa. What a grand thing, to be loved. What a grander thing still, to love. Victor Hugo. When I see you smile and know that it is not for me, that is when I will miss you the most. When we are motivated by goals that have deep meaning, by dreams that need completion, by pure love that needs expressing, then we truly live life. Greg Anderson. When you love someone, all your saved up wishes start coming out. Elizabeth Brown. With you, it's not like I'm running toward the goal wanting to score. I feel I've already won. I care about you. Movie American Pie, 1999. Work is love made visible. The Prophet, Khalil Gibran. To be loved by a good man is the best and sweetest thing which can happen to a woman, and I sincerely hope my girls may know this beautiful experience. You are what I never knew I always wanted. Fools Rush In, movie. You say don't fear your dreams. It's easier than it seems. You say you'll never let me fall from hopes so high. But never is a promise. And you can't afford to lie. Fiona Apple. Young love is a flame, very pretty, often very hot and fierce, but still only light and flickering. The love of the older and disciplined heart is as coals, deep burning, unquenchable. Henry Ward Beecher. Love quotes 2. A good heart is better than all the heads in the world. Edward G. Bulwer Lytton. A mother is a person who, seeing there are only 4 pieces of pie for 5 people, promptly announces she never did care for pie. Tenova Jordan. A man falls in love through his eyes, a woman through her imagination, and then they both speak of it as an affair of the heart. Algernon C. Swinburne. A mother is a person who, seeing there are only 4 pieces of pie for 5 people, promptly announces she never did care for pie. Tenova Jordan. A suitor, unwittingly, loves what he lacks. What he regards as beautiful in another individual are those perfections which he lacks, those traits opposite of his own, guided by what's best for the species. Arthur Schopenhauer. A woman has got to love a bad man once or twice in her life, to be thankful for a good one. Blaise Pascal, On the Passion of Love, 1623-1662. Accustom yourself to continually make many acts of love, for they enkindle and melt the soul. La Byra, of the affections from characters. After all these years, I still love you. Elvis Presley. Animals don't hate and we're supposed to be better than them. Elvis Presley, 1935-1977. Anna Laetitia Barbald, Delia in the works of Anna Laetitia Barbald, 1773. To love is to place our happiness in the happiness of another. Gottfried Wilhelm van Leibniz. As long as a woman is desired, she does not get old. Gabriela Zapolska. As the dawn loves the sunlight, I love thee. Marsilio Ficino, The Book of Life, 1433-1499. Believe, when you are most unhappy, that there is something for you to do in the world. So long as you can sweeten another's pain, life is not in vain. Helen Keller, 1880-1968, author, lecturer, activist. Believe, when you are most unhappy, that there is something for you to do in the world. So long as you can sweeten another's pain, life is not in vain. Helen Keller, 1880-1968. Blessed is the influence of one true, loving human soul on another. Elizabeth Barrett Browning, Sonnets from the Portuguese, 1850. Blessed is the season which engages the whole world in a conspiracy of love. Hamilton Wright Mabie, 1846-1916, essayist, editor. Blessed is the season which engages the whole world in a conspiracy of love. Hamilton Wright Mabie. Caring about others, running the risk of feeling and leaving an impact on people, brings happiness. Harold Kushner, born 1935. Choose love and peace will follow. Choose peace and love will follow. Mary Helen Doyle. Commit yourselves to each other so strongly that absolutely nothing but death will tear you apart, nothing. Just worship each other. Compassion is the greatest form of love humans have to offer. Rachel Joy Scott, 1981-1999, student, first victim of the Columbine High School massacre. Do not repress sexual desire or overdo it. Nothing truly valuable arises from ambition or from a mere sense of duty. It stems rather from love and devotion towards men and towards objective things. Albert Einstein, 1875-1955. Does one need to love? Don't ask, feel it. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a great battle. Philo of Alexandria, 20-50. Does what everyone want more than anything to be loved? Montaigne. Early love is fervent and drunken, blinds us and leads us on. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Experience shows us that love does not consist in gazing at each other but in looking together in the same direction. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Falling in love consists merely in uncorking the imagination and bottling the common sense. Alexander Lowen, Love and Orgasm. For every human being there rises a light that reaches straight to heaven, and when two souls that are destined to be together find each other, the streams of light flow together and a single brighter light goes forth from that united being. Martin Luther, religious reformer. Great loves were almost always great tragedies. Perhaps it was because love was never truly great until the element of sacrifice entered into it. Helen Rowland. Here's to love, the disease which begins with a fever and ends with a pain. Though God hath raised me high, yet this I count the glory of my crown, that I have reigned with your loves. And though you have had and may have, many mightier and wiser princes sitting in the seat, yet you never had, nor shall have any that will love you better. Queen Elizabeth I. Him that I love, I wish to be free. Even from me. Nina Cashin. How do you love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I have never met a person whose greatest need was anything other than real, unconditional love. You can find it in a simple act of kindness towards someone who needs help. There is no mistaking love, it is the common fiber of life, the flame that heats our soul, energizes our spirit and supplies passion to our lives. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. I search the whole world for that special girl. When I finally find you, watch the love unfurl. I cannot lead you into battle. I do not give you laws or administer justice, but I can do something else. I can give my heart and my devotion to these old islands and to all the peoples of our brotherhood of nations. Elizabeth II, born 1926. I never saw love as luck, as that gift from the gods which put everything else in place and allowed you to succeed. No, I saw love as reward. One could find it only after one's virtue, or one's courage, or self-sacrifice, or generosity, or loss, has succeeded in stirring the power of creation. Norman Mailer, born 1923, novelist, journalist. I will do everything I can to make you happy. I had 2 tragedies in my life, my first wife left me, my second wife won't. I cannot manage friendship. It requires too much. I know how to love. It requires only one participant. Eva Kilpi. I feel the capacity to care is the thing which gives life its deepest significance. Pablo Casals, 1876 to 1973. I have no patience with women who measure and weigh their love like a country doctor dispensing capsules. If a man is worth loving at all, he is worth loving generously, even recklessly. Hazrat Inayat Khan. If you would be loved, love and be lovable. The inner side of every cloud is bright and shining. I therefore turn my clouds about, and always wear them inside out, to show the lining. James Whitcomb Riley. If you judge people, you have no time to love them. Mother Teresa, 1910 to 1997. If you begin by sacrificing yourself to those you love, you will end by hating those to whom you have sacrificed yourself. Self-sacrifice is suicide. George Bernard Shaw. If love is the best thing in life, then the best part of life is the kiss. Thomas Mann. If grass can grow through cement, love can find you at every time in your life. Cher. If thou must love me, let it be for naught, except for love's sake only. Anne Morrow Lindbergh, The Unicorn, 1956. If thou must love me, let it be for naught, except for love's sake only. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. If you don't marry the one you love, love the one you marry. In a great romance, each person basically plays a part that the other really likes. LL Cool J. In her first passion, woman loves her lover. In all the others, all she loves is love. Lord Byron. Instead of romance, we are all engaged in a ruthless quest for a mate who will compensate for our flaws and so create the perfect child. Arthur Schopenhauer. Invest in the human soul. Who knows, it might be a diamond in the rough. Mary McLeod Bethune. It is very rarely that a man love. And when he does, it is nearly always fatal. Hugh McDermott. It is in loving, not being loved, that you get that loving feeling. The heart is the only broken instrument that works. T.E. Calum. It was a love like a chord from Bach, of such pure gravity. Mary Roberts Reinhardt, Dangerous Days, 1919. It's better to be feared than loved. Machiavelli. Kissing girls is not like science, nor is it like sport. It is the third thing when you thought there were only two. Tom Stoppard. Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Khalil Gibran. Life is short and we have never too much time for gladdening the hearts of those who are traveling the dark journey with us. Oh, be swift to love, make haste to be kind. Henry Frederick Amiel, 1821–1881, philosopher, poet, critic. Love is patient and kind, love is not jealous or boastful, it is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way, it is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrong, but rejoices in the right. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Book of Corinthians. Love is, above all, the gift of oneself. Jean Anouilh. Love seeketh not itself to please, nor for itself hath any care, but for another gives its ease, and builds a heaven in hell's despair. William Blake. Love wholeheartedly, be surprised, give thanks and praise, then you will discover the fullness of your life. David Steindl-Rast, born 1926, Catholic theologian. Love is an irresistible desire to be irresistibly desired. Robert Frost. Love is the same as like except you feel sexier. Love is just a system for getting someone to call you darling after sex. Julian Barnes. Love is the cloth which imagination embroiders. Voltaire. Love is the most important thing of all. Love is, above all, the gift of oneself. Love changes everything. Love is a pure dew which drops from heaven into our heart. Jules Laforgue. Love in dreams is easy. Real love is a sometimes harsh and demanding reality. Dostoevsky. Love is all we have, the only way that each can help the other. Euripides, 480–406. Love as we know it in society is only the exchange of two fantasies and the contact of two surfaces of skin. Love me tender, love me blue. He who reaches the state of perfect love through the emotional impetus of the heart will see the barriers of ignorance fall before him and will conquer knowledge by the bestowal of himself on that which he loves. For the two ways meet and at a certain level become one. Anonymous. Love is a safe place where you can be who you are without worrying about it. Love is a grave mental disease. Plato. Love is simple to understand if you haven't got a mind soft and full of holes. It's a crutch, that's all, and there isn't one of us that doesn't need a crutch. Norman Mailer. Love must be as much a light, as it is a flame. Henry David Thoreau, 1817–1862, naturalist, author, philosopher. Love seems the swiftest but it is the slowest of growths. No man or woman really knows what perfect love is until they have been married a quarter of a century. Bertrand Russell. Love is a spirit friend. Love itself is what is left over when being in love has burned away. Louis de Bernays. Love is anterior to life, posterior to death, initial of creation and the exponent of breath. Emily Dickinson. Love never reasons but profusely gives, like a thoughtless prodigal, its all and trembles lest it has done too little. Hannah More, 1745–1833. Love is, that you are the knife which I plunge into myself. Blaise Pascal. Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. William Shakespeare, 1564–1616, dramatist, poet. Love is that great feeling you get when you're with that special person. Love is the wisdom of the fool and the folly of the wise. Judith Viers, Necessary Losses, 1986. Love begins with love, and the warmest friendship cannot change even the coldest love. Love and respect are the most important aspects of parenting and of all relationships. Jodie Foster, born 1962. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always perseveres. Love never fails. 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. Love is an irresistible desire to be irresistibly desired. Robert Frost. First, examine the mother, then marry the daughter. Arpad Burchik. Love is that condition in which the happiness of another person is essential to your own. Robert A. Heinlein. Love consists in those, that two solitudes protect and touch and greet each other. Rainer Maria Rilke. Love is hardly ever perfect. It's either too much or too little. Love does not dominate, it cultivates. Goethe. Love is the only gold. Lord Alfred Tennyson. Love gives itself, it is not bought. Love does not consist in gazing at each other, but in looking outward together in the same direction. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Love one another and you will be happy. It's as simple and as difficult as that. Mikhail Leunig, born 1945, cartoonist. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. 1 Corinthians 13:4. Love never reasons but profusely gives, like a thoughtless prodigal, its all and trembles lest it has done too little. Hannah More, 1745-1833, poet, playwright, philanthropist. Love is a crooked thing. There is nobody wise enough to find out all that it is. W.M. Butler Yeats. Love is, above all, the gift of oneself. Jean Anouilh. Love one another and you will be happy. It's as simple and as difficult as that. Mikhail Leunig, born 1945, cartoonist. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. Sigmund Freud, 1856-1939. Love is the triumph of imagination over intelligence. Henry Louis Mencken. Love is shown in your deeds, not in your words. Fr. Jerome Cummings. Love is above all the gift of oneself. Jean Anouilh, Ardell. Marriage is like a bird in a cage desperate to get out while the other bird is desperate to get in. Judith Viers, Love and Guilt and the Meaning of Life, etc., 1979. Marriage is like a long meal with dessert at the beginning. Greek proverb. Men will promise the world to get laid. When a guy and a girl are about to have sex, a guy will promise her anything under the sun. As soon as he comes, he's like, get the fuck out. I don't know who you are. I've never seen you before in my life. My love for Linton is like the foliage in the woods, time will change it, I'm well aware, as winter changes the trees. Your love for Heathcliff resembles the eternal rocks beneath. A source of little visible delight, but necessary. Emily Bronte, Wuthering Heights. Nobody has ever measured, not even poets, how much the heart can hold. Zelda Fitzgerald, 1900-1948. Nothing moves a man more than the tears of a woman he has begun to love, and nothing irritates him more than the tears of a woman whom he has stopped loving. Marilla Wolska. Nothing is too hard for him who loves. Cicero, Ancient Rome. O Lord, give me chastity and continence, but not yet. Saint Augustine. Oh, your love's like a red rose. That's newly sprung in June. Oh, your love's like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. Robert Burns. Oh, innocent victims of Cupid. Remember this terse little verse. To let a fool kiss you is stupid. To let a kiss fool you is worse. E. Y. Harburg. On the Art of Kissing. But indeed, dear, these kisses on paper are scare worth keeping. You gave me one on your neck that night you were in such good humor, and one on your lips on some forgotten occasion, that you would not part with for 100,000 paper ones. Thomas Carlyle. Once he drew with one long kiss your whole soul through my lips, as sunlight drinketh dew. Alfred, Lord Tennyson. One forgives to the degree that one loves. François Duc de la Rochefoucauld, 1613-1680. One word frees us of all the weight and pain of life. That word is love. Sophocles. One word frees us of all the weight and pain of life, the word is love. Kim Chernin, In My Mother's House, 1983. Our heart always exceeds us. and I will show that there is no imperfection in the present and can be none in the future. And I will show that whatever happens to anybody, it may be turned to beautiful results. Walt Whitman. Perfect love is rare indeed, for to be a lover will require that you continually have the subtlety of the very wise, the flexibility of the child, the sensitivity of the artist, the understanding of the philosopher, the acceptance of the saint, the tolerance of the scholar and the fortitude of the certain. Leo Buscaglia, 1924–1998. Pure love is a willingness to give without a thought of receiving anything in return. Peace Pilgrim, 1908–1981. Real love is a pilgrimage. It happens when there is no strategy, but it is very rare because most people are strategists. Anita Bruckner. Secretly, we wish that anyone we love will think exactly the way we do. I really owe everything to my parents and their devotion and drive to see to it that their children had the education which led to the opportunities that they never were able to have. George J. Mitchell. Sexuality is not a leisure or part-time activity. It is a way of being. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. She wore far too much rouge last night and not quite enough clothes. That is always a sign of despair in a woman. Oscar Wilde. Stay where you are. Find your own Calcutta. Find the sick, the suffering and the lonely right there where you are, in your own homes and in your own families, in your workplaces and in your schools. You can find Calcutta all over the world, if you have the eyes to see. Everywhere, wherever you go, you find people who are unwanted, unloved, uncared for, just rejected by society, completely forgotten, completely left alone. Mother Teresa, 1910–1997, founder of the Missionaries of Charity. Talk not of wasted affection. Affection never was wasted, if it enrich not the heart of another. Its waters, returning back to their springs, like the rain, shall fill them full of refreshment. That which the fountain sends forth returns again to the fountain. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The bond that links your true family is not one of blood, but of respect and joy in each other's life. Richard David Bach, born 1936. The trouble is that rich people, well-to-do people, very often don't really know who the poor are, and that is why we can forgive them, for knowledge can only lead to love and love to service. And so, if they are not touched by them, it's because they do not know them. Mother Teresa, 1910–1997, founder of the Missionaries of Charity. The magnanimous know very well that they who give time, or money, or shelter, to the stranger, so it be done for love and not for ostentation, do, as it were, put God under obligation to them, so perfect are the compensations of the universe. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The giving of love is an education in itself. Eleanor Roosevelt, 1884–1962, First Lady, diplomat, activist. The first duty of love is to listen. Paul Tillich, 1886–1965. The best portions of a good man's life, his little, nameless, unremembered acts, of kindness and love. William Wordsworth. The most basic and powerful way to connect to another person is to listen. Just listen. Perhaps the most important thing we ever give each other is our attention. A loving silence often has far more power to heal and to connect than the most well-intentioned words. Rachel Naomi Remen. The way to love anything is to realize that it might be lost. G. K. Chesterton, 1874–1936. The mind cannot long act the role of the heart. Ludwig van Beethoven. The true romantic feeling is not a desire to escape life but to prevent life from escaping you. George Bernard Shaw. The end of passion may refashion a friend. Mona Van Dine, The Beginning, in Firefall, 1993. The heart has its reasons which reason knows not. Blaise Pascal. The great tragedy in life is not that men perish but that they cease to love. At the touch of love everyone becomes a poet. Plato, 428–348. The magic of first love is R. Ignorance that it can ever end. Benjamin Disraeli. The body is to be an instrument of the spirit, and the uniting of bodies is in its essence the uniting of spirits. 1 Corinthians 6:15-17. The world has little to bestow, where two fond hearts in equal love are joined. Saint Teresa of Avila. The fate of love is that it always seems too little or too much. Amelia E. Barr. The world has grown suspicious of anything that looks like a happily married life. Oscar Wilde. The singleness of each is enhanced by the communion. Most of us who turn to any subject we love remember some morning or evening hour when we sat with parted lips listening to a new talker, or for very lack of books began to listen to the voices within, as the first traceable beginning of our love. George Eliot. Mary Ann Evans. The rosebud beginning to glow on her face. W.B. Yeats. There is no remedy for love but to love more. People facing death don't think about what degrees they have earned, what positions they have held, or how much wealth they have accumulated. At the end, what really matters is whom you love and who loved you. Bernadine Healy, M.D. There is no love more sincere than the love for food. George Eliot. There is a courtesy of the heart, it is allied to love. From it springs the purest courtesy in the outward behavior. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, 1749-1832, philosopher, scientist, author. They do not love that do not show their love. The course of true love never did run smooth. Love is a familiar. Love is a devil. There is no evil angel but love. William Shakespeare. This whirlwind, this delirium of Eros. Robert Lowell. Those who love deeply never grow old, they may die of old age, but they die young. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds. Or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no. It is an ever fixed mark, that looks on tempests and is never shaken. William Shakespeare. Those who have never known the deep intimacy and hence the companionship of happy mutual love have missed the best thing that life has to give. Marie Dressler, The Life Story of an Ugly Duckling, 1924. Those who are faithless know the pleasures of love, it is those who are faithful who know love's tragedies. Oscar Wilde. Till the seas gang dry, your dear, and the rocks melt. The sun, you will love thee still, your dear, while the sands o' life shall run. Robert Burns. Love is, above all, the gift of oneself. Jean Anoval. To love someone deeply gives you strength. Being loved by someone deeply gives you courage. Lao Tzu, 600-531. To understand and be understood, to know, really know, what another is thinking, to say what you will and be sure it is accepted as of value or sifted through without reproof, to be you, really you, and know you are loved. This is near heaven. Gloria Oakes Perkins. To love someone deeply gives you strength. Being loved by someone deeply gives you courage. Lao Tzu. To be rich in admiration and free from envy, to rejoice greatly in the good of others, to love with such generosity of heart that your love is still a dear possession in absence or unkindness, these are the gifts which money cannot buy. Robert Louis Stevenson, 1850-1894, poet, essayist, author. To forgive is the highest, most beautiful form of love. In return, you will receive untold peace and happiness. Robert Muller, born 1923. To love someone is to isolate him from the world, wipe out every trace of him, dispossess him of his shadow, drag him into a murderous future. It is to circle around the other like a dead star and absorb him into a black light. Jean Baudrillard. To love is to place our happiness in the happiness of another. Gottfried von Leibniz. To love someone means to see him as God intended him. George Bernard Shaw. To love deeply in one direction makes us more loving in all others. And Sophie Swetchine. To fear love is to fear life, and those who fear life are already 3 parts dead. Bertrand Russell. Today, give a stranger one of your smiles. It might be the only sunshine he sees all day. From the film P.S. I Love You. Tolerance and celebration of individual differences is the fire that fuels lasting love. Tom Hanna. Trouble is part of your life. If you don't share it, you don't give the person who loves you a chance to love you enough. Dinah Shore, 1916–1994. True love is the greatest thing in the world. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Lao Tzu. True achievement in any sphere of action depends upon real ability and a strong, deep, whole-souled love. David Emerald. We are often disappointed after love-making. Why? Because most of us are like owners of a precious Stradivarius violin that we have never learned to play. We come to love not by finding a perfect person, but by learning to see an imperfect person perfectly. Anonymous. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same. Emily Bronte, 1818–1848. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Charlie Chaplin, 1889–1977. We love as soon as we learn to distinguish a separate you and me. Love is our attempt to assuage the terror and isolation of that separateness. François La Rochefoucauld. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Mark Twain. When one is in love, one begins by deceiving oneself. And one ends by deceiving others. This is what the world calls a romance. Oscar Wilde. When we want to read of the deeds that are done for love, whither do we turn? To the murder column. We are, each of us, angels with only one wing, and we can only fly by embracing one another. Luciano de Crescenzo, born 1928, writer, actor, engineer. When you are in love, you can't fall asleep because reality is better than your dreams. Theodore Dr. Seuss Geisel. 1904–1991, writer, cartoonist. When you have once seen the glow of happiness on the face of a beloved person, you know that a man can have no vocation but to awaken that light on all the faces surrounding him. Albert Camus, 1913–1960, author, playwright, philosopher. Where there is love there is life. Mahatma Gandhi. Where there is love there is life. Mohandas Gandhi, 1869–1948. Fear grows out of the things we think, it lives in our minds. Compassion grows out of the things we are and lives in our hearts. Barbara Garrison, born 1931. For one human being to love another, that is perhaps the most difficult of our tasks, the ultimate, the last test and proof, the work for which all other work is but preparation. Rainer Maria Rilke, 1875–1926, poet. Where there is love there is life. Gandhi. Where there is love there is life. Where there is love there is life. Mohandas Gandhi, 1869–1948. Wherever you are, I am there also. Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings, The Yearling, 1938. Who are the most loving people you know? What can you learn from them? Whoso loves, believes the impossible. Samuel Johnson. Yet each man kills the thing he loves. By each let this be heard. Some do it with a bitter look. Some with a flattering word. The coward does it with a kiss. The brave man with a sword. Oscar Wilde. You must remember this, a kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply. As time goes by. Herman Hupfeld. You must learn day by day, year by year, to broaden your horizon. The more things you love, the more you are interested in, the more you enjoy, the more you are indignant about, the more you have left when anything happens. Ethel Barrymore, 1879–1959. You never lose by loving. You always lose by holding back. Barbara DeAngelis. You'll discover that real love is millions of miles past falling in love with anyone or anything. When you make that one effort to feel compassion instead of blame or self-blame, the heart opens again and continues opening. Sarah Pattison. You'll discover that real love is millions of miles past falling in love with anyone or anything. When you make that one effort to feel compassion instead of blame or self-blame, the heart opens again and continues opening. Sarah Pattison. Your heart is not living until it has experienced pain. The pain of love breaks open the heart, even if it is as hard as a rock. Sebastian Chamfort, 1741–1794, French philosopher. Youth is the season made for joys. Love is then our duty. Romantic old man. Love quotes 3. Love is the water of life. God created Adam from clay and water. If it were not for water, the clay would hold no shape. Divine love is what binds our souls together. That is why people become so miserable when they feel unloved. It is a feeling that something essential is missing from one's life, that life itself is incomplete, and in the face of this ache, people set out in search of love with the desperation of a man dying of thirst. Love is an attribute of God Almighty which binds His servants to Him eternally. The Lord created us and loves us, that is why everyone loves love. No one complains of love or wants it to be taken from him, but all want to be loved more. Maulana Sheikh Nazim. She taught me nothing new in matters of the act itself, but countless novelties in the way of sighs, ecstasies, transports and natural sentiments that arise only in such moments. Each discovery I made raised my soul to love, which in turn fortified me in the demonstration of my gratitude. She was astonished to find herself receptive to so much pleasure, for I showed her many things she had considered fictions. I did things to her that she did not feel she could ask me to do, and I taught her that the slightest constraint spoils the greatest pleasures. When the morning bells tolled, she raised her eyes to the third heaven like an idolatress, thanking the mother and son for having so well rewarded the effort it had cost her to declare her passion to me. Giacomo Casanova. The course of true love never did run smooth. Love is a familiar. Love is a devil. There is no evil angel but love. William Shakespeare. All women love a man that appreciates and loves women. To love is to live on the precipice. The story of O. We don't love to be loved, we love to love. Leo F. Buscaglia. Love is a neurotic need. Psychiatrist in old movie. I have the right to be free. I have the right to live out what is within me. Woman who left her husband gave baby up for adoption. It upsets women to be, or not to be, stared at hungrily. Mignon McLaughlin, The Neurotic's Notebook, 1960. Women remember stressful events better than men do. Here's why. Estrogen not only activates a larger field of neurons in women during an upsetting experience, meaning that they experience the stress more intensely, but it also prolongs the amount of time that the adrenal gland secretes the stress hormone cortisol, which happens to be a natural memory booster. That's why simply remembering an unpleasant incident can bring back the same terrible sadness and agitation that was experienced at the time. Marianne J. Legato, Why Men Never Remember and Women Never Forget. RX for Women. Regular sex at least once a week, and until this is available, remain celibate. While you'll probably never get a prescription like this from a doctor, you should know that is actually sound advice. My research with more than 700 women confirms the value of weekly sexual contact, a weekly love cycle. Winifred B. Cutler. Love Cycles, The Science of Intimacy. If our parents related to us in hostile, critical, cruel, manipulative, overbearing, overdependent, or otherwise inappropriate ways, that is what will feel right to us when we meet someone who expresses, perhaps very subtly, undertones of the same attitudes and behaviors. Robin Norwood, Women Who Love Too Much. Many of us are addicts, only we don't know it. We turn to each other out of the same needs that drive some people to drink and others to heroin. Interpersonal addiction, love addiction, is just about the most common yet least recognized form of addiction we know. Stanton Peele, Love and Addiction. What competing is to males, choosing is to females. We do not mean to imply that women are not competitive with one another, they are, but not so directly or blatantly as men. Women tend to compete by focusing on themselves, by striving to look more attractive, seductive, desirable, and youthful than the competition. Of the three evolutionary goods females seek, a future mate's resources are the most apparent and, to many, the most important. From insects to primates, females prefer wealthy men. Judith Lipton and David Baruch, Making Sense of Sex. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made her feel. Maya Angelou. Woman, the bowl, the urn, the cave, the musky jungle. We are the dark mysterium. We are hidden folds and primal wisdom, and always, always, the womb, bearing life, releasing life and then sucking it back in again, into those moist, chthonic plates. Male sexuality, then, returning to this primal source, drinks at the spring of being and enters the murky region, where up is down and death is life, of mythology, John Updike has written. Natalie Angier, Woman, An Intimate Geography. You never lose by loving. You lose by holding back. If you have it, love, you don't need to have anything else, and if you don't have it, it doesn't matter much what else you have. Love is the triumph of imagination over intelligence. Henry Louis Mencken. Love is a canvas furnished by nature and embroidered by imagination. Voltaire. True love is given without any expectation of getting something in return. Take me, some of you. While yet I am young and true. Ere I can my soul disguise. Heave my breasts and roll my eyes. John Dryden. You cannot truly love something if you think it's different. Old Native Saying. Love is all there is. Old Native Saying. Loving is not the dying moan of a distant violin. It is the triumphant twang of a bedspring. S.J. Perlman. To free himself from love, a man need only concentrate on his own problems. Ovid, Roman. The things that people in love do to each other they remember, and if they stay together it's not because they forget, it's because they forgive. Movie Indecent Proposal. You were born together and together you shall be forevermore. You shall be together when the white wings of death scatter you days. You shall be together even in the silent memory of God. But let there be spaces in your togetherness. And let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone. Even as the strings of a lute are alone though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping. For only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together yet not too near together. For the pillars of the temple stand apart. And the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. Khalil Gibran. If ever you think of me out of the blue, just remember it's all the kisses I've blown in the air finally catching up with you. Being in love is what makes working all week bearable. When you're in love with someone it inspires you and gives you hope. Practically every moment of the day you are in my thoughts. I love him for everything he is, every word he says, every step he takes. Deep in my heart I truly know, you're the one that I love and I can't let you go. However rare true love may be, it is less rare than true friendship. François Duc de la Rochefoucauld. For one human being to love another, that is perhaps the most difficult of all our tasks, the ultimate, the last test and proof, the work for which all other work is but preparation. Rainer Maria Rilke. Let's fall in love, why shouldn't we fall in love? Our hearts are made of it, let's take a chance, why be afraid of it? Let's fall in love, 1933. Words by Ted Koehler, music by Harold Arlen. Sometimes I wonder if men and women really suit each other. Perhaps they should live next door and just visit now and then. Katharine Hepburn. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. You like potato and I like potato, you like tomato and I like tomato, potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. Let's call the whole thing off, George and Ira Gershwin. Ah, love. Could you and I with fate conspire to grasp this sorry scheme of things entire? Would not we shatter it to bits and then remold it nearer to the heart's desire? Omar Khayyam. Of all love's speeches, silence is the best. Francis W. L. Adams. Never compliment a woman in front of other women because none of them will like it. Kellerman Mikes. To marry for love is to invite inevitable tragedy. James Branch Cabell. To be in love is merely to be in a state of perpetual anesthesia, to mistake an ordinary young man for a Greek god or an ordinary young woman for a goddess. H.L. Mencken. Love is the delusion that one woman differs from another. H.L. Mencken. Bachelors know more about married women than married men. If they did not, they would be married. H.L. Mencken. The supreme happiness in love is the conviction that we are loved. Victor Hugo. Love is the business of the idle but the idleness of the busy. E.g. Bulwer Lytton. Love is grand, divorce is 100 grand. All marriages are happy. It's trying to live together afterwards that causes all the problems. Shelley Winters. Men are admitted into heaven not because they have curbed and governed their passions or have no passions, but because they have cultivated their understandings. William Blake. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature. Helen Keller. I wrote the story myself. It's about a girl who lost her reputation and never missed it. Mae West. Love, ageless and evergreen, seldom seen by two. You and I will make each night the first every day a beginning. Evergreen, Barbara Streisand and P. Williams. When you love, you wish to do things for. You wish to sacrifice for. You wish to serve. Ernest Hemingway. Friendship after love is like smoke after a fire. Magdalena Samazwaniak. Hearts are not had as a gift but hearts are earned. William Butler Yeats. Love as a relation between men and women was ruined by the desire to make sure of the legitimacy of children. Bertrand Russell. To fall in love is to create a religion that has a fallible God. Jorge Luis Borges. To love and win is the best thing, to love and lose, the next best. William Thackeray. When one has fully entered the realm of love, the world, no matter how imperfect, becomes rich and beautiful, for it consists solely of opportunities for love. Kierkegaard. To get the full value of joy, you must have someone to divide it with. Mark Twain. Those who restrain desire, do so because theirs is weak enough to be restrained. William Blake. He who bends to himself a joy doth the winged life destroy, but he who kisses the joy as it flies lives in eternity's sunrise. William Blake. Once in a while, right in the middle of an ordinary life, love gives us a fairy tale. Life is not a matter of milestones but of moments. Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy. Ecstasy is our very nature. Osho. And now here is my secret, a very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly, what is essential is invisible to the eye. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. The sea rises, the light fails, lovers cling to each other and children cling to us. The moment we cease to hold each other, the moment we break faith with one another, the sea engulfs us and the light goes out. James Baldwin, Nothing Personal. To every lovely lady bright, I wish a gallant, faithful knight. To every faithful lover too, I wish a trusting lady true. Sir Walter Scott. Nobody dies from lack of sex. It's lack of love we die from. Margaret Atwood, The Handmaid's Tale, 1985. It was a holiness, a religion, as all great loves must be. Elsie de Wolfe, After all, 1935. Come in the evening or come in the morning. Come when you are looked for or come without warning. 1,000 welcomes you will find here before you. And the oftener you come here, the more I will adore you. Anonymous. Our love must not be a thing of words and fine talk. It must be a thing of action and sincerity. Better is a heart full of love than a mind filled with knowledge. Charles Dickens. The great tragedy of life is not men perish, but that they cease to love. W. Somerset Maugham. Love doesn't just sit there, like a stone, it has to be made, like bread, remade all the time, made new. Ursula L. Le Guin, The Lathe of Heaven, 1971. If grass can grow through cement, love can find you at every time in your life. Share, The Times, May 30, 1998. Here's to the prettiest and to the wittiest. Here's to the truest of all who are true. Here's to the neatest one, here's to the sweetest one. Here's to them all in one, here's to you. Anonymous. Love, a temporary insanity curable by marriage. Ambrose Gwinnett Bierce. Never till time is done will the fire of the heart and the fire of the mind be one. Edith Sitwell, in Elizabeth Salters and Alana Harper's Edith Sitwell, 1976. There is only one happiness in life, to love and be loved. George Sand. The magic of first love is our ignorance that it can ever end. Benjamin Disraeli. There is no sight on earth more appealing than the sight of a woman making dinner for someone she loves. Thomas Wolfe. Love, I find, is like singing. Everybody can do enough to satisfy themselves, though it may not impress the neighbors as being very much. Zora Neale Hurston. There is no remedy for love but to love more. Thoreau. How is love to be explained and what does it mean? Some evening, it captivates us with its gentle sunlight, its fluffy clouds and its plaintive breeze. Chien Dieu. When people care for you and cry for you, they can straighten out your soul. Langston Hughes. The heart that blindly rushes to love, if broken, where lies its dignity? Thoi Suk Thong Thawan. Closeness without conflict exists only in the cemetery. Matty J. Kurunan. The loss of love is a terrible thing, they lie who say that death is worse. Never love with all your heart, it only ends in aching. County Cullen. The proof that experience teaches us nothing is that the end of one love does not prevent us from beginning another. Paul Bourget. Among those who I love, all of them make me laugh. W.H. Auden. Love is the child of illusion and the parent of disillusion. Miguel de Unamuno. Take my word for it, the silliest woman can manage a clever man, but it takes a very clever woman to manage a fool. Rudyard Kipling. Marriage is like life in this, that it is a field of battle and not a bed of roses. Robert Louis Stevenson. Love makes up for everything though nothing makes up for love. Sandor Patofi. To say that you can love one person all your life is like saying that one candle will continue to burn as long as you live. Leo Tolstoy. Nearly all human beings love but nearly none know how to love. Eugenio Maria de Hostas. Ideal love is a delusion put forth by poets. Alphonse Daudet. Love is a great beautifier. Louise May Alcott. Familiarity breeds contempt and children. Mark Twain. Love, a temporary insanity cured by marriage. Ambrose Bierce. You can't pluck roses without fear of thorns, nor enjoy a fair wife without fear of horns. Ben Franklin. It is not a lack of love but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages. Nietzsche. Love and you will be loved and you will be able to do all that you could not do unloved. Marquis de Santillana. What seemed fair in all the world now seemed mean, and in her looks, which from that time infused sweetness into my heart, unfelt before and into all things from her air, inspired the spirit of love and amorous delight. John Milton. To love and be loved will be the greatest event in our lives. Jean-Jacques Rousseau. To say how much you love is to love too little. Petrarch. Love is the wisdom of the fool and the folly of the wise. Samuel Johnson. Debauchery and love cannot live together. Jean-Jacques Rousseau. It is easier to end love than to moderate it. Seneca, Roman. Friendship is disinterested commerce between equals, love, and object intercourse between tyrants and slaves. Oliver Goldsmith. Equality is always the strongest tie of love. Gottfried Ephraim. Lessing. There is only one kind of love, but there are 1,000 different copies. François de la Rochefoucauld. In the election of a wife as in a project of war, to err but once is to be undone forever. Thomas Middleton. Where love is concerned, too much is not even enough. Beaumarchais. Love had brought her here, to lie beside this young man. Love was the key to every good. Love lay like a mirage through the golden gates of sex. Doris Lessing. Great passions, my dear, don't exist, they're liars' fantasies. What do exist are little loves that may last for a short or longer while. Anna Magnani, in Oriana Felice's Limelighters, 1963. The absolute yearning of one human body for another particular one and its indifference to substitutes is one of life's major mysteries. Iris Murdoch, The Black Prince, 1973. Whoever has loved knows all that life contains of sorrow and of joy. George Sand, French Wit and Wisdom, 1950. My life will be sour grapes and ashes without you. Daisy Ashford, The Young Visitors, 1919. A woman in love never takes advice. Rosamund Marshall, Kitty, 1943. Love is like misty rain, coming softly but flooding the river. To love and win is the best thing. To love and lose, the next best. W.M. M. Thackeray. We do not love people because they are beautiful but because they seem beautiful to us because we love them. Russian proverb. We had a lot in common. I loved him and he loved him. Shelley Winters, in Susan Strasberg's Bittersweet, 1980. To fall in love, you have to be in the state of mind for it to take, like a disease. Nancy Mitford, Uncommon Scold, Abby Adams, 1989. I have drunk of the wine of life at last. I have known the thing best worth knowing. I have been warmed through and through, never to grow quite cold again until the end. Edith Wharton in The Education of Edith Wharton by Gloria C. Ehrlich, 1992. There's no way to take the risk out of love. Wherever you are, I am there also. Beethoven. Even when the first wild desire is gone, especially then, there is an inherent need for good manners and consideration, for the putting forth of effort. Two courteous and civilized human beings out of the loneliness of their souls owe that to each other. Ilka Chase, In Bed We Cry, 1943. To love is to kiss the joy as it flies. Whoso loves believes the impossible. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Falling in love consists merely in uncorking the imagination and bottling the common sense. Helen Rowland, A Guide to Men, Variations, 1922. When first we fall in love, we feel that we know all there is to know about life. And perhaps we are right. Mignon McLaughlin, The Neurotic's Notebook, 1963. Love is a trifling thing and yet, it is the only weapon that can wound a stout heart. Stendhal. Love is a haughty despot, he will have all or nothing. Stendhal. Love is like an epidemic. The more one is afraid, the more vulnerable one is. Nicholas Chamfort. True love is like ghosts, which everybody talks about and few have seen. François de la Rochefoucauld. Even quarrels with one's husband are preferable to the life of a solitary existence. Elizabeth Patterson Bonaparte. There are few people who are not ashamed of their love affairs when the infatuation is over. François de la Rochefoucauld. Where love does not exist, plant it and it will grow. San Juan de la Cruz. It is far safer to be feared than loved. Machiavelli. You keep your first love longer when you don't take a second one. François de La Rochefoucauld. Love, love, when you hold us in your grasp we can say farewell to caution. Jean de La Fontaine. How sweet is the rapturous state of soft passions in a heart full of love. Torquato Tasso. How many people I've seen elevated by love and how many more diminished by fear. Marquis de Santillana. One who is your friend always loves you. One who loves you is not always your friend. Seneca, Roman. Many men, and I know this about myself, will not love a woman who promises to be an easy victory, but if the conquest is difficult, then out of sheer pride, they will fall in love with her. Joseph Catona. Love is much better than hatred, there is never too much. Descartes. Love is selfishness for two. Antoine de La Salle. Who loves not wine, women, or song remains a fool his whole life long. Martin Luther. It is love alone that gives worth to all things. Santa Teresa de Jesus. The eyes are the silent tongues of love. Cervantes. Nothing is too hard for him who loves. Cicero, Roman. When my girl is sober, she pleases me a little, when she is drunk, she delights me. Propertius, Roman. Love brings bewitching grace to the heart. Euripides. 2 days are the best of a man's life, the days when he marries and buries his wife. Hipponax, ancient Greek. Nothing is more tender or violent than love. Ovid, Roman. Words are the weak support of cold indifference, love has no language to be heard. William Cosgrove. Courtship to marriage, as a very witty prologue to a dull play. William Cosgrove. Love is fond of spontaneous action. Jean-François Regnard. Love blinds the eyes to faults. Hatred blinds them to virtues. Moses ibn Ezra. He who knows how to make himself beloved by women, as well as to increase their honor, becomes an object of their love. Kama Sutra. Inasmuch as love grows in you, so in you beauty grows. For love is the beauty of the soul. Saint Augustine. Love insists that love should be mutual. Dante. Love alone begets love. The strongest of friendships could only become a weak love. Jean de la Bruyere. Love eagerly believes everything it wishes. Jean Racine. The heart that can no longer love passionately must with fury hate. Jean Racine. In the midst of love, I see one thing in everything within my gaze, not a tree, not a blade of grass but a vision of you. Emperor Fushimi. Pains of love be sweeter far than all other pleasures are. John Dryden. Love and the gentle heart are but a single thing. Dante. True love is like a sigh from the heart, it teaches in a moment everything one ought to say. Thomas Corneille. Even if man would be fully satisfied with everything else, he always crave more love. Bozena Nemkova. Love movie quotes/movie love quotes. lovesayings quotes.com/movie_love_quotes.php. soundoflife.net/movie-love-quotes. Love quote websites/love quotes websites. Lovequote.com. student.adelaide.edu.au/greg/love.html, specifically love quotes. Quotes4love.blogspot.com. notable-quotes.com/l/love_quotes.html. inlovequote.com. great-inspirational-quotes.com/relationship-quotes.html. romanceclass.com. links to love.com/quotations_love_generator.htm. inet.ba/tilde/adm/quotes/love-quotes/romantic-passionate-sayings. cybernation.com/victory/quotations/subjects/quotes_relationships.html. beautiful-love-quotes.com. lovely-love-sayings.com. loversquotes.com. famous-quotes-and-quotations.com/marriage-quotes.html. brainyquote.com. wikiquote.org/wiki/love poemofquotes.com/love-poem/y_I_love_u.php. quotegarden.com/love-u.html. quotationcafe.com. quotegarden.com/love-u.html. columbia.edu/acis/bartleby/bartlett. columbia.edu/sv12/bartlett. dailyquote.com. lexmark.com/data/quote.html. pubweb.docdavus/documents/quotation/homepage.html. shu.ac.uk/web-admin/phrases. starlingtech.com/quote/search.html. yahoo.com/reference/quotations. clockworks.com/images/upload/media/fixdom.hmsoundoflife.net. Money and business quotes websites. beveraginc.com/bizquote_code.htm. bizqte.com. motivationalquotes.com. cs.virginia.edu/tilde-robin/quotes.html. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/root_of_all_evil. heartquotes.net/business.html. limunltd.com/numismatica/trivia/money-quotes.html. mbadepot.com/quotes/quotes.php. planware.org/quotes.htm. quotations.com/bz_all.htm. soundhome.att.net/quotation/money.html. thinkexist.com/english/topic/x/topic_342_1.htm. useful-information.info/quotation/about_money.html. wisdomquotes.com/cat_money.html. woopaidu.com, motivational business and finance e-zine with a selection of business quotes. woopaidu.com/business_quotes/rich-quotes.htm. blog.fani.org/2006/05/26/money quote. Inspirational business quotes. 640k ought to be enough for anybody. Bill Gates, 1981. A problem is a chance for you to do your best. A cookie store is a bad idea. Besides, the market research reports say America likes crispy cookies, not soft and chewy cookies like you make. Response to Debbie Fields' idea of starting Mrs. Fields Cookies. A strong, successful man is not the victim of his environment. He creates his life. A man is a product of his thought. Ability may take you to the top, but it takes character to stay there. Action is the key to success. Airplanes are interesting toys but of no military value. Marichal Ferdinand Foch, Professor of Strategy, École Supérieure de Guerre. All men who have achieved great things have been great dreamers. Anything in life worth having is worth working for. Andrew Carnegie. Attitude is everything. Be humble always and identify with the common man. Behind every successful man there's a lot of failure. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without one. Champions are made from willpower. Computers in the future may weigh no more than 1.5 tons. Popular Mechanics, 1949. Concentrate on your strengths instead of your weaknesses. Customers are people. Deliver more than you are getting paid to do. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure should make you stronger. Do not despise the bottom rungs in the ascent to greatness. Publilius Syrus. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Theodore Roosevelt. Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. John Wooden. Don't let fear hold you back. Dwell not on the past. Enthusiasm is the steam that drives the engine. Napoleon Hill. Drill for oil? You mean drill into the ground to try and find oil? You're crazy. Rejection of Edwin L. Drake drilling idea in 1859. Enthusiasm, energy, and hard work. Your success is determined by hard work, persistence, and failures. Give me a man with no goals and I'll give you a stock clerk. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. He who hesitates is lost. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. He who wishes to be rich in a day will be hanged in a year. If you are in a hurry you will never get there. Everything that can be invented has been invented. Charles H. Dewell, Commissioner, U.S. Office of Patents, 1899. Failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. Failure is the tuition you pay for success. Follow your dream as long as you live. For anything worth having one must pay the price, and the price is always work. Forget yourself and start to work. Great minds have purpose. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things. Great works are performed not by strength but by perseverance. Hard work is the price we must pay for success. He has achieved success who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much. He who has never failed somewhere, that man cannot be great. Hope is the mother of success. Don't walk backwards. I can accept failure but I can't accept not trying. I couldn't wait for success, so I went ahead without it. The only way you are going to get anywhere in life is to work hard. Heavier than air flying machines are impossible. Lord Kelvin, President, Royal Society, 1895. I have traveled the length and breadth of this country and talked with the best people, and I can assure you that data processing is a fad that won't last out the year. Editor, Prentice Hall, 1957. I dream things and say, why not? I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. Thomas Watson, Chairman of IBM, 1943. If you are never scared, embarrassed, or hurt, it means you never take chances. If you can dream it, you can do it. Your limits are all within yourself. If you can imagine it, you can create it. If you can dream it, you can become it. If you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you don't know where you are going, every road will get you nowhere. If you don't set goals, you can't regret not reaching them. Yogi Berra. If you have no critics you'll likely have no success. Malcolm Forbes. If you have the will to win, you have achieved half your success. In the middle of difficulty, lies opportunity. Albert Einstein. If you learn only methods, you'll be tied to your methods. If I had thought about it, I wouldn't have done the experiment. The literature was full of examples that said you can't do this. Spencer Silver, 3M Post-it notepads. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. John Quincy Adams. If you aren't making any mistakes, it's a sure sign you're playing it too safe. If you want to increase your success rate, double your failure rate. Go the extra mile for the fun of it. If people believe in themselves, it's amazing what they can accomplish. Empower your employees. A leader has vision. A man can succeed at almost anything for which he has unlimited enthusiasm. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. It takes as much stress to be a success as it does to be a failure. It's what you do for others. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Learn from failure. Love what you are doing, you will be successful. A man who walks alone is likely to find himself in places no one has ever been. May you live all the days of your life. Jonathan Swift. It's all a matter of discipline. The small decisions you and I make every day create our destiny. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambition. Kites rise highest against the wind, not with it. Winston Churchill. Leadership is a combination of strategy and character. Life is a series of problem-solving opportunities. Live out of your imagination. Make the most of yourself. Louis Pasteur's theory of germs is ridiculous fiction. Pierre Pache, professor of physiology at Toulouse, 1872. Make your life a mission, not an intermission. Most people give up when they're about to achieve success. Never turn down a job because you think it's too small, you don't know where it will lead. Men trip not on mountains, they trip on molehills. Motivation is food for the brain. Nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Most people spend more time and energy going around problems than in trying to solve them. Henry Ford. Neither success nor failure is ever final. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. It takes a strong fish to swim against the current. It takes 20 years to become an overnight success. Eddie Cantor. Never, 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 never give up. Winston Churchill. New ideas are usually rejected. No man is ever whipped until he quits. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Nothing is so contagious as enthusiasm. One man with courage is a majority. Andrew Jackson. One sound idea is all that you need to achieve success. Napoleon Hill. 100% of the shots you don't take don't go in. Wayne Gretzky. One who makes no mistakes never makes anything. One's best success comes after their greatest disappointments. Henry Ward. Only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. Optimists are right. So are pessimists. Our business in life is not to get ahead of others, but to get ahead of ourselves. Our lives improve only when we take chances. Our greatest battles are with our own minds. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. Recognize a problem and turn it into an opportunity. Seldom does an individual exceed his own expectations. People rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing. People who are afraid to fail can never experience the joys of success. People with goals succeed because they know where they're going. Perpetual optimism. Perseverance is a great element of success. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Praise loudly, blame softly. Speak ill of no one and speak all the good you know of everybody. I would rather attempt something great and fail than attempt to do nothing. Private victories precede public victories. Put your heart, mind, intellect, and soul even to your smallest acts. Quality means doing it right when no one is looking. Real wealth equals ideas plus energy. Singleness of purpose is one of the chief essentials for success in life. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Leigh Brown. Smooth seas do not make skillful sailors. Get up. So we went to Atari and said, hey, we've got this amazing thing, even built with some of your parts, and what do you think about funding us? Or we'll give it to you. We just want to do it. Pay our salary, we'll come work for you. And they said, no. So then we went to Hewlett-Packard and they said, hey, we don't need you. You haven't got through college yet. Steve Jobs. Sooner or later those who win are those who think they can. Striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you haven't. Stocks have reached what looks like a permanently high plateau. Irving Fisher, Yale University, 1929. Succeed best by helping others. Success demands singleness of purpose. Success is 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration. Thomas Edison. Success is doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Success is every minute you live. Success is the process of living. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Success is how high you bounce after you hit bottom. Success is living up to your potential. Success is never ending, failure is never final. Success is not so much what we have, as it is what we are. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. Success is simply a matter of luck. Ask any failure. Earl Wilson. Success comes to those who dare to act. Success requires first expending 10 units of effort to produce 1 unit of results. Success is going from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. It is no feat to travel the smooth road. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. The ladder of success is never crowded at the top. The true measure of a man is not how he behaves in moments of comfort and convenience, but how he stands at times of controversy and challenges. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. Success is the quality of the journey. Do not wait to strike till the iron is hot, but make it hot by striking. Make yourself so valuable in your work that they need you. Success of life depends upon keeping one's mind open to opportunity. Successful leaders see the opportunities in every difficulty. The key to successful leadership is inspiration, not authority. Lead by helping people. The secret of success is to be ready when your opportunity comes. The successful man is one who had the chance and took it. I can, I will, and I am. There is no one giant step that does it. It's a lot of little steps. There is only one way to succeed in anything, and that is to give it everything. They can because they think they can. Those at the top of the mountain didn't fall there. To be a champion, you have to believe in yourself when nobody else will. To be successful, the first thing to do is fall in love with your work. To be successful, you must decide exactly what you want to accomplish. The concept is interesting and well formed, but in order to earn better than a C, the idea must be feasible. Federal Express Corp. Idea as college project. The secret of success is consistency of purpose. Benjamin Disraeli. The road to success is always under construction. The road to success runs uphill. The secret of business is to know something that nobody else knows. Aristotle. The abdomen, the chest, and the brain will forever be shut from the intrusion of the wise and humane surgeon. Sir John Eric Ericsson, British surgeon, 1873. The critical ingredient is getting off your butt and doing something. The dictionary is the only place where success comes before work. The future belongs to those who believe in dreams. The great end of life is not knowledge but action. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity. The secret to success is enthusiasm. The reward of a thing well done is to have done it. Ralph Waldo Emerson. There is only one success: to be able to spend your life in your own way. Most men succeed because they are determined. When they believe in themselves, they have the first secret of success. To climb steep hills requires a slow pace at first. Triumphs without difficulties are empty. We learn wisdom from failure much more than from success. There is no reason anyone would want a computer in their home. Ken Olsen, founder of Digital Equipment Corp. 1977. Think big. This telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. The device is inherently of no value to us. Western Union Memo, 1876. To move the world we must first move ourselves. Socrates. To guarantee success, act as if it were impossible to fail. Dorothea Brand. To conquer fear is the beginning of wisdom. Bertrand Russell. Treat employees fairly. Try to forget yourself in the service of others. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is a habit. We can do anything we want to do if we stick to it long enough. Helen Keller. We will either find a way, or make one. Hannibal. We don't like their sound and guitar music is on the way out. Decca Recording Co. Rejecting the Beatles, 1962. We do our best that we know how at the moment. We grow great by dreams. All big men are dreamers. Woodrow Wilson. We must never be afraid to go too far, for success lies just beyond. Well done is better than well said. Benjamin Franklin. What we hope to do with ease, we must learn first to do with diligence. What you can do, or dream you can, begin it. Whatever you do, you need courage. When you're going through hell, keep going. Winners are the ones who listen to the truth of their hearts. Winners make a habit of manufacturing their own positive expectations. What would you do if you knew you would not fail? What the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Napoleon Hill. Who would pay for a message sent to nobody in particular? Early radio critics. Who the hell wants to hear actors talk? H.M. Warner, Warner Brothers, 1927. Will this matter a year from now? Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. Vincent Lombardi. You do not pay the price of success, you enjoy the price of success. You just can't beat the person who never gives up. Babe Ruth. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. You can do it if you believe you can. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control your attitude. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you are doomed if you don't try. You must do the very thing you think you cannot do. Eleanor Roosevelt. You've got to win in your mind before you win in your life. A leader takes people where they want to go. Not tomorrow. Not next week. But today. If you don't step forward, you're always in the same place. Your success and happiness lie in you. Helen Keller. Money and business quotes. A truly kind person cannot be rich. A rich person, without question, is not a kind one. Chinese proverb. A rich man can't be good and kind, for if he becomes really good and kind, he will soon lose all his wealth. Acquire great wealth. Acquire few needs. An organization's ability to learn and translate that learning into action rapidly, is the ultimate competitive advantage. Jack Welch. And so they grow richer and richer, and the more they think of making a fortune, the less they think of virtue, for when riches and virtue are placed together in the scales of balance, the one always rises while the other falls. Plato, 427 to 347 BC, The Republic, v. As the purse is emptied, the heart is filled. Victor Hugo. Average sex is better than being a billionaire. 60-year-old billionaire. Be wise enough not to wear yourself out trying to get rich. Your money can be gone in a flash, as if it had grown wings and flown away like an eagle. Proverbs 23:4. But who is rich and sees his brother have need, yet turns his heart away from them, how does the love of God live in him? My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and truth. 1 John 3:17-18. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Matthew 6:19-21. Do not be conformed to this world. Romans 12:1-2. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. Matthew 6:19. Do it yourself, do it for less or do without. Even if you have 10,000 fields, you can eat no more than 1 measure of rice a day. Even if your house has 1,000 rooms, you can only use 8 feet of space a night. Chinese proverb. Every man is a consumer and ought to be a producer. He fails to make his place good in the world unless he not only pays his debt but also adds something to the commonwealth. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Wealth. Give and it will be given to you. Luke 6:38. Go and sell all you have and give the money to the poor, and you will have riches in heaven, then come and follow me. Matthew 19:21. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. Eleanor Roosevelt. Happiness is not a matter of intensity but of balance, order, rhythm, and harmony. Thomas Merton. Happiness doesn't depend on any external conditions, it is governed by our mental attitude. Dale Carnegie. Happiness is not in the mere possession of money, it lies in the joy of achievement, in the thrill of creative effort. Franklin D. Roosevelt. He that loves silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loves abundance will be satisfied with increase. Ecclesiastes 5:10. How much is enough? Human worth does not lie in the riches or power, but in character or goodness. If people would only begin to develop this goodness, give of yourself, you can always give something even if it is only kindness. No one has ever become poor from giving. Diary of Anne Frank. I think there's a world market for about 5 computers. Thomas J. Watson, Chairman of IBM 1943. I have been poor and I have been rich. Believe me, rich is better. Sophie Tucker, 1884 to 1966. I'm richer than a tycoon. I have all I want and he doesn't. Idleness and luxury are not the path to happiness. If you see money as compensation for what you do, you lose the game of life. If money is the natural result of following your heart and doing whatever it is you do to make you happy, you win the game of life. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Henry David Thoreau. Put your investments in several places. Many places even, because you never know what kind of bad luck you are going to have in this world. Ecclesiastes 11:2. If a man empties his purse into his head, no man can take it away from him. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin. If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. Sir Isaac Newton. If you have an income without working hard, then someone worked hard without receiving an income. Maimonides. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them. Henry David Thoreau. If a man who earns a fortune cannot use it to make his life easier and freer, then he gains nothing. James Boswell. If at first the idea is not absurd, then there is no hope for it. Albert Einstein. In short, the way to wealth, if you desire it, is as plain as the way to market. It depends chiefly on 2 words, industry and frugality, that is, waste neither time nor money, but make the best use of both. Without industry and frugality, nothing will do, and with them everything. Ben Franklin. Invest your money in foreign trade and one of these days you will make a profit. Ecclesiastes 11:1. It is preoccupation with possession, more than anything else, that prevents people from living nobly and freely. Bertrand Russell. It's not about money, it's about how good, pure, and true you feel in your own skin without all that delusion surrounding you. It's easy enough to say, fill them, when your bank account has money. But the man worthwhile is the man who can smile when every damn cent is gone. It's better to live a rich life than to get rich and destroy yourself in the process. Know your purpose in life, grow to your maximum potential and sow seeds that benefit others. Let him who would move the world first move himself. Socrates. Money is like sex. If you don't have it, it's everything, but if you do, you enjoy your life. Therefore it's the greatest freedom of all, the freedom of financial security. Money reveals where our interests lie. It can direct our attitudes. It ever exposes us to the danger of worshipping it. And it represents value. Money not only talks, it screams. Leslie B. Flynn. Money is the foremost thing to seek, cash first and virtue afterwards. Horace. Most of our spending is done to forward our efforts to look like others. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Nothing can withstand the power of the human will if it is willing to stake its very existence to the extent of its purpose. Benjamin Disraeli. Nothing is more seductive and at the same time more deceitful than wealth. It is extremely troublesome to acquire, to keep, to spend, to lose. Hindu proverb. Of all the evils on the earth, money is the worst. Cicero. Opportunity is missed by most because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Thomas Edison. Over the years, it has been hard to be content. I am realizing now that it really doesn't matter. I have so much compared to so many others in other countries, states, and towns. I am blessed with other types of stuff. Each day I look at my husband, 2 daughters, and son. I know that I am blessed. I'm thankful for the house I have, the car I drive and the food I eat. At the end of each day, I realize again that I'm content and blessed with all my stuff. Sharon in book Financial Peace by Dave Ramsey. Simplicity may be hard, but the alternative, a complicated, ambitious lifestyle, is much worse. The almighty dollar, that great object of universal devotion throughout the land, seems to have no genuine devotees in these peculiar villages, and unless some of its missionaries penetrate there and erect banking houses and other pious shrines, there is no knowing how long the inhabitants may remain in their present state of contented poverty. Washington Irving, The Creole Village, 1783 to 1859. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. Martin Luther King, Jr. The goal. The past is history, the future is a mystery, this moment is a gift, that is why this moment is called the present. Enjoy it. The empires of the future are the empires of the mind. Sir Winston Churchill. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. For there is never want where the mind is satisfied. Lucretius. The greater danger is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it. Michelangelo Buonarroti. The more a man has, the more he wants. Benjamin Franklin. The golden opportunity you are seeking is in yourself. It is not in your environment, it is not in luck or chance, or the help of others, it is in yourself alone. Orison Swett Martin. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Nelson Mandela. The world is too much with us, late and soon. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon. William Wordsworth. The reason to have money is to tell any sob to go to hell. Humphrey Bogart. Then Jesus said unto his disciples, Verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. Matthew 19:23-24. There are 2 ways to get rich. There are 2 ways to get enough: work to accumulate more and more, or desire less. Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have. Hebrews 13:5. There must be more to life than having everything. Rich Old Broad. There's no reason for any individual to have a computer in their home. Ken Olson, President, Digital Equipment Corp. 1977. To be rich, regardless of his fortune or lack of it, a man must live by his own values. If these values are not personally meaningful, then no amount of money gained can hide the emptiness of a life without them. J.P. Getty. To be content with little is difficult, to be content with much, impossible. Marie von Ebner Eschenbach, Aphorisms, 1893. To reach the port of heaven, we must sail sometimes with the wind and sometimes against it, but we must sail and not drift, nor lie at anchor. Oliver Wendell Holmes. Virtue does not come from money. From virtue comes money and every other good of man. Plato's Apology. Vision is the art of seeing things invisible. Jonathan Swift. Wealth is doing what you love. You can build wealth with a single stock if it's the right stock. When one door of happiness closes, another opens. but often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one which has been opened for us. Helen Keller. When someone shares something of value with you and you benefit from it, you have a moral obligation to then share it with others so they may benefit too. When I was young, I thought that money was the most important thing in life. Now that I'm old, I know that it is. Oscar Wilde. You will never get rich working for money. You have to make money work for you. Aging Prose. 70 years is all we have. 80 years if we are strong. Yet all they bring us is trouble and sorrow. Life is soon over and we are gone. Psalms 90:10. And now every fresh day finds me more filled with wonder and better qualified to draw the last drop of delight from it. For up until now, I had never known time's inexpressible wealth, and my youth had never entirely yielded itself to happiness. Is it indeed this that they call growing old, this continual surge of memories that come breaking in on my inner silence, this contained and sober joy, this light-hearted music that bears me up, this spreading, kindly feeling and this gentleness? Maurice Gaudequet, The Delights of Growing Old, 1965. Hold fast to time. Use it. Be conscious of each day, each hour. They slip away unnoticed all too easily and swiftly. Thomas Mann, Sept. 1938, Diaries, 1918-1939. When I come to be old. Not to marry a young woman. Not to keep young company unless they really desire it. Not to be peevish, morose, or suspicious. Not to scorn present ways or wits or fashions or men or war. Not to be fond of children or let them come near me hardly. Not to tell the same story over and over to the same people. Not to be covetous. Not to neglect decency or cleanliness for fear of falling into nastiness. Not to be severe with young people but give allowances for their youthful follies and weaknesses. Not to be influenced by or give ear to knavish tattling servants or others. Not to be too free of advice nor trouble any but those that desire it. To desire some good friends to inform me which of these resolutions I break or neglect and wherein, and reform accordingly. Not to talk much, nor of myself. Not to boast of my former beauty or strength or favor with ladies. Not to hearken to flatteries nor conceive I can be beloved by a young woman. Not to be positive or opinionative. Not to set up for observing all these rules, for fear I should observe none. Jonathan Swift, 1699. Time, they say, makes a man mellow. I do not believe it. Time makes a man afraid and fear makes him conciliatory, and being conciliatory, he endeavors to appear to others what they will think mellow. And with fear comes the need for affection, of some human warmth to keep away the chill of the cold universe. When I speak of fear, I do not mean merely or mainly personal fear, the fear of death or decrepitude or penury or any such merely mundane misfortune. I am thinking of a more metaphysical fear. I am thinking of the fear that enters the soul through experience of the major evils to which life is subject, the treachery of friends, the death of those whom we love, the discovery of the cruelty that lurks in the average human nature. Bertrand Russell, Autobiography, 1968. I am conscious also that during this year I have become much older. I do not think that my deafness has seriously increased, nor are my limbs less supple than they were in 1948. But I have put on weight and lost many teeth and much hair and perhaps vigor. I am not really conscious of a decline in my mental energy. But I have intimations that my thoughts move in the old grooves and do not push out into new grooves, and that my ways of expression are becoming stereotyped. It is not a good period of history into which to grow old. Harold Nicholson, Diaries, December 31, 1949. To be exactly as I am, decrepit nature yet supernature in one, equally alert on the damp ground and in the turbulent air. Perhaps I don't have to wait for old age for that invisible trespass and pedestrian tread, insensible of mortality and desperately mortal. Miss Marple. Age is a state of mind. If you have left your dreams behind. If hope is cold. If you no longer look ahead. If your ambition's fires are dead, then you are old. But if from life you take the best, and if in life you keep the jest, if love you hold, no matter how the years go by, no matter how the birthdays fly, you are not old. Anonymous Jailbird. Mailer never had a particular age, he carried different ages within him like different models of his experience. Parts of him were 81 years old, 57, 48, 36, 19, etc., etc. He now went back abruptly from 57 to 36. Norman Mailer, The Armies of the Night, 1968. I believe that when one is young, it is the object, the outside world, that fills one with enthusiasm. One is carried away. Later, it comes from inside. The need to express his feelings urges the painter to choose some particular starting point, some particular form. Bonnard, in Simone de Beauvoir, Old Age, 1972. John Anderson my Joe, John, when we were first acquainted, your locks were like the raven, your bony brow was brent, but now your brow is belled. John, your locks are like the snaw, but blessings on your frosty pow. John Anderson my Joe. John Anderson my Joe, John. We climb the hill thegither. And money a canty day, John. We've had wi on a another. Now we maun totter down, John. And hand in hand we'll go. And sleep thegither at the foot. John Anderson my Joe. Robert Burns. It's as though I was walking down Shaftesbury Avenue as a fairly young man and I was suddenly kidnapped, rushed into a theater and made to don the grey hair, the wrinkles and other marks of age, then wheeled on stage. Yet behind the appearance of age, I'm still the very same person with the same thoughts as when I was younger. J. B. Priestley. Cravat. Age and youth cannot live together. Youth is full of pleasance, age is full of care. Youth, like summer morn, age like winter weather. Youth, like summer brave, age like winter bear. Youth is full of sport, age's breath is short. Youth is nimble, age is lame. Youth is hot and bold, age is weak and cold. Youth is wild and age is tame. Age, I do abhor thee, youth I do adore thee. Shakespeare, The Passionate Pilgrim, 1590. Grow old along with me. The best is yet to be. Robert Browning. 'Tis strange that it is not in vogue to commit harikari as the Japanese do at 60. Nature is so insulting in her hints and notices, does not pull you up by the sleeve, but pulls out your teeth, tears off your hair in patches, steals your eyesight, twists your face into an ugly mask, in short, puts all contumelies upon you, without in the least abating your zeal to make a good appearance, and all this at the same time that she is molding the new figures around you into wonderful beauty, which of course is only making your plight worse. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Journals, 1863. You fade, old presences, and leave me here. In dismal trickle of a dimming May. I play old records and lay solitaire. Through aimless hours of Memorial Day. Cities, I'll never visit, books that I'll never read. Magic, I'll never master. In a cage. I stalk from room to room, lose heat and speed. Now entering the dark defile of old age. Edmund Wilson, May 22, 1966. Because you have an occasional spell of despondency, do not despair. After all, remember that the sun has a sinking spell every night but rises again in the morning. Anonymous. For age is opportunity no less than youth itself. Though in another dress. And as the evening twilight fades away, the sky is filled with stars, invisible by day. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. A 17th-century nun's prayer. Lord, thou knowest better than myself. Know that I am growing older and will someday be old. Keep me from the fatal habit of thinking I must say something on every subject and on every occasion. Release me from the craving to straighten out everybody's affairs. Make me thoughtful, but not moody, helpful, but not bossy. With my vast store of wisdom it seems a pity not to use it all. But thou knowest, O Lord, that I want a few friends at the end. Keep my mind free from the recital of endless details. Give me wings to get to the point. Seal my lips on my aches and pains. They are increasing and love of rehearsing them is becoming sweeter as the days go by. I dare not ask for grace enough to enjoy the tales of others' pains. But help me to endure them with patience. I dare not ask for an improved memory, but for a growing humility and a lessening cocksureness. When my memory seems to clash with the memories of others, teach me the glorious lesson that occasionally I may be mistaken. Keep me reasonably sweet, I do not want to be a saint. Some of them are so hard to live with. But a sour old person is one of the crowning works of the devil. Give me the ability to see good things in unexpected places, and talents in unexpected people. And give me, O Lord, the grace to tell them so. Amen. Being 80 is a lot better than being 70. At 70, people are mad at you for everything. At 80, you have a perfect excuse no matter what you do. If you act foolishly, it's your second childhood. Everybody is looking for symptoms of softening of the brain. Frank C. Laubach. 83 years gone by. I do not know that I am satisfied when I consider how so many years have passed, how I have filled them. What useless agitations, what fruitless endeavors. Tiresome complications, exaggerated emotions, spent efforts, wasted gifts, hatreds aroused, sense of proportion lost, illusions destroyed, tastes exhausted. What results in the end? Moral and physical weariness, complete discouragement, and profound disgust with the past. There are a crowd of people who have the gift or the drawback of never properly understanding themselves. I possess only too much the opposite disadvantage or superiority, it increases with the gravity of old age. Talleyrand, French statesman, February 2, 1837. After 60, the inclination to be alone grows into a kind of real, natural instinct, for at that age, everything combines in favor of it. The strongest impulse, the love of women's society, has little or no effect. It is the sexless condition of old age which lays the foundation of a certain self-sufficiency and that gradually absorbs all desire for others' company. Arthur Schopenhauer, Counsels and Maxims, Perurga and Paralipomena, 1851. When all the fiercer passions cease, the glory and disgrace of youth. When the deluded soul in peace can listen to the voice of truth. When we are taught in whom to trust, and how to spare, to spend, to give. Our prudence kind, our pity just. 'Tis then we rightly learn to live. George Crabbe, Reflection, 1807. I am still expecting something exciting, drinks, animated conversation, gaiety, brilliant writing, uninhibited exchange of ideas. I have never had quite the expectation of Scott Fitzgerald's character that somewhere things were glimmering. I thought life had its excitements wherever I was. But it was part of the same zeitgeist. Now I try to discipline myself not to be so silly in depending for really deep satisfaction on things that are transitory and superficial. I try to diet and cut down on drinking and not to look forward to sprees. I hope I am well on the way to becoming a sedate, old gentleman. Edmund Wilson, 1960. At 45, what next, what next? At every corner, I meet my father. My age, still alive. Robert Lowell, middle age, for the Union dead, 1965. Older people who live spiritual lives ever widen their spiritual horizons and ever expand their consciences. Older people who live only a daily routine become more and more stupid over the years. The Talmud. I'm 47 now. Up to a year ago I tried deliberately to pull the wool over my eyes so that I shouldn't see the realities of life, and I thought I was doing the right thing. But now, if you only knew. I lie awake night after night in sheer vexation and anger that I let time slip by so stupidly during the years when I could have had all the things from which my age now cuts me off. Anton Chekhov, Uncle Vanya, 1900. I never wake without finding life more insignificant than it was the day before. My greatest misery is recollecting the scene of 20 years past and then all of a sudden dropping into the present. Jonathan Swift, Letter to Henry St. John Bolingbroke, April 5, 1729. The Hindus have a basic philosophy where the first 25 years of life are to be spent learning, the next 25 years earning, the third 25 years giving to charity, then whatever's left should be spent in meditation, gradually giving all your possessions away, preparing for death. There is a city in India called Varanasi near the Ganges River where old people go to die and be cremated. You don't get to choose your own death, unless you kill yourself, but you do get to choose how you're going to live. Aging one-liners. You've got to appreciate what you have while you still have it. Jack Nicholson in movie about Schmidt. They will still bear fruit in old age, they will stay fresh and green. Psalm 92:14. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. Abe Lincoln. Love thyself and keep moving. Eartha Kitt, former Catwoman in Batman TV series. When you start to get compliments about how young you look, you can be sure you're getting old. I will not make age an issue. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience. Ronald Reagan, Presidential Debate, 1984. People are anxious to save up financial means for old age, they should also be anxious to prepare a spiritual means for age. Wisdom, maturity, tranquility do not come all of a sudden when we retire. Abraham Joshua Herschel. You will always find joy in the evening if you've spent the day well. George Matheson. Life is a hard fight, a struggle, a wrestling with the principle of evil, hand to hand, foot to foot. Every inch of the way is disputed. The night is given us to take breath, to pray, to drink deep at the fountain of power. The day, to use the strength which has been given us, to go forth to work with it till the evening. Florence Nightingale. When your thinking becomes clouded with pessimism and prevents you from taking risks, then you are old and not until then. Anonymous. For me, old age is always 15 years older than I am. Too soon old, too late smart. Anybody who can still do at 60 what he was doing at 20 wasn't doing much at 20. Jimmy Carter. I married an archaeologist because the older I grow, the more he appreciates me. Agatha Christie. The 7 ages of man: spills, drills, thrills, bills, ills, pills, wills. Richard Needham. Old age, when actions creak louder than words. Dana Robbins. Today I entered on my 82nd year and found myself just as strong to labor and as fit for any exercise of body or mind as I was 40 years ago. John Wesley. There are 3 ages to mankind: youth, middle age, and, you're looking good. Marie Stopes. You can take no credit for beauty at 16. But if you are beautiful at 60, it will be your soul's own doing. Marie Stopes. Whatever poet, orator, or sage may say of it, old age is still old age. Sinclair Lewis. By the time a man gets to greener pastures he can't climb the fence. Frank Dixon. Call him not old, whose visionary brain holds o'er the past its undivided reign. For him in vain the envious seasons roll, who bears eternal summer in his soul. Oliver Wendell Holmes. Those who do not hope for another life are always dead to this one. Goethe. You always feel the same inside, the essence of your soul. You're only as old as you feel. Spring in your heart puts a spring in your step. We don't stop playing because we're old. We grow old because we stop playing. Take care of your health, live a long life and have an easy death. Live all the days of your life. Live as long as you want and want to as long as you live. Make the most of life while you may. Time is short and will wear away. We don't stop laughing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop laughing. Wrinkles should merely indicate where smiles have been. Mark Twain. Don't feel bad about growing old. Many are denied the privilege. If I had known I'd live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. Live long and die in your own bed. Stay young to sustain old age. May we get more beautiful as we age than say our farewells when it's time to go, smiling and unafraid. Live for a long life as your treasure. You're not as old as you're going to be. When I dream, I'm never old. I'm so worn out that I can't do the things I wanted to do when I retired. I hate old age, but it's better than death. The work is never done as long as you have power. Just because you end one race doesn't mean that life is over. When you get near the end, you realize how much you have left undone. I feel a part of everything, so when I die it'll just be a natural part of life. Don't be sorry for relishing in the spirit of life regardless of age. I lost my eyes, ears, teeth, hair, power, strength, but I'm still doing fine without them. Your youthful spark can take you well into old age if you let it. Now, as an old man, I'm on borrowed time. I can do anything I want or do nothing but sit back, eat chocolate, drink beer and watch adult movies. Sexy old guy. I feel like an old nuisance. Everybody's so kind to me like I'm a helpless old coot. I like to work, why should I retire? Drink a toast to all the old-timers who burned brightly until the end. The sands of life are nearly done, let me leave in peace. You can never write the words "the end" if you want to live a full life. In my old age, I feel that faith in God is what sustains me. Wear out, don't rust. It's as beautiful a day as any, but all I want to do is sleep. My biggest regrets are the doubts that I lived a misspent life. I have no rivals, they're all dead. I can afford to be generous with young folk. All my friends are 20 or more years younger than me. At least I don't have to try to look beautiful anymore now that aging has freed me from it. In simpler times, we were happier with much less. These days, they're too worried, too ambitious, too anxious to get ahead of their neighbors. Age doesn't make you any more moral or good. Why be afraid of getting old and dying? It's natural. I'm an old derelict with most of my friends gone and the others dying away. Some people seem to not let aging bother them. There's a time to be old, to enjoy life in a different way, to let it come naturally. I saw an old man looking back at me in the midst of a crowd of youth trying to recapture something I lost a long time ago. Whenever things got tough, I took a drink to relax. Now I can't even do that. I've never really learned how to live, and now that I'm old, I realize that life is for living. So little done, so much to do. Cecil Rhodes, Near Death, March 26, 1902. When you get as old as I am, you realize health and happiness are more important than anything else. Aging is one of the few things that consumes you once you realize it's happening to you. I constantly hear my inner voice telling me I'm getting near the end. I have only managed to live so long by carrying no hatreds. Sir Winston Churchill, 1951. Everybody wants to be young, but getting to old age means you beat the game of life that claims so many before their time. I need so many repairs that it might be cheaper to tear down this old building and build a new one. I just want a few years of peace before I die. In all of my life, I've only lived a few really good years. Work, stress, and mundanity took all the rest of my time. I am a crumbling man, a magnificent ruin, no doubt, but still a ruin, and like all ruins I look best by moonlight. Gilbert and Sullivan and Their World, Leslie Bailey, 1973. When you're older, you should be wiser. Aging isn't bad if you can do it with dignity. I choose a quiet, relaxed life. All my former ambitions now seem like vain, frivolous ventures. Sometimes, I feel up, sometimes I feel down. It takes a lot of effort to continue on with my work, but it's the source of my inspiration and every now and then puts a spring in my step, so I must keep doing it. Sometimes I feel young, sometimes I feel old, then I feel young again, then old. You pay heavily for living too long, like an old car always breaking down. I wish to seek out adventure, to laugh at death until it comes in the midst of a full life. Once I hit my 60s, I realized I could never recover the happiness that passed me by in my 20s because I was working too hard. I'm an old man. If I don't enjoy myself now, when will I ever get the chance again? Aging is just a nuisance to all the things I do to live a full life. I'm not dead, but most of my friends are. Old people need to be touched and loved, but everybody stays away but the doctor. Age is a state of mind. You can be as young or as old as you want. The worst part about being old is remembering when you were young. Alvin in 1999 movie The Straight Story. You're not getting old, you're just an older version of who you always were. Growing old ain't bad when you consider the alternative. You can't change it, so live with it. We don't know the value of our moments until they become memories. Better to be 80 years young than 40 years old. Die young, as old as possible. At 50, everyone has the face he deserves. George Orwell, Notebook, April, 1949. The difference between a young soul and an old one is a sense of adventure versus a craving for ease. Why do we have to age and die still so thirsty for life? If you wait until retirement to get young, carefree, and enjoy your life, you're 50 years too late. It's never too late to be who you were meant to be. Despite so many ordeals, my advanced age and the nobility of my soul make me conclude that all is well. Oedipus from Greek mythology. As I approve of a youth that has something of the old man in him, so I am no less pleased with an old man that in him has something of the youth. Cicero. Do not grow old no matter how long you live. Never cease to stand like curious children before the great mystery into which we were born. Einstein, The Human Side. I want to die in peace, not in pieces. Each of us stands alone to face a glorious life if we want it, but one day, we'll face the sunset. At last, the years catch up and we know it'll soon be over. I have already died all deaths and I am going to die all deaths again. Hermann Hesse, Poems. He who is interested in life is also interested in death as part of life. The great tragedy is not death but what dies inside while you're alive. Immortality is to knock on death's door as an adventure. The greatest tears shed over the death of a loved one is for things not said and not done. The only thing you leave behind is the love you had for others. You die exactly the way you live. The closer you get to death, the sweeter you realize life is. Chapter 2. Inspired Quotes Guide. Inspired Quotes 1. We look forward to the time when the power of love will replace the love of power. Then will our world know the blessings of peace. William Gladstone, 1809–1898. A paranoid is someone who knows a little of what's going on. A psychotic is a guy who's just found out what's going on. William S. Burroughs, 1914–1997. A people who would begin by burning fences and let the forest stand. Henry David Thoreau, 1817–1862. The imagination is not a state, it is the human existence itself. William Blake, 1757–1827. When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. Hunter S. Thompson, 1937–2005. On a planet that increasingly resembles one huge maximum security prison, the only intelligent choice is to plan a jailbreak. Robert Anton Wilson, 1932–2007. Only after the last tree has been cut down. Only after the last river has been poisoned. Only after the last fish has been caught. Only then will you find money cannot be eaten. Cree Prophecy. Theology is just a debate over who to frame for creating reality. What we imagine is order is merely the prevailing form of chaos. Carrie it is said. What is not said is what it takes to buy money. A ballad against work, Communist Kranti. What does the money machine eat? It eats youth, spontaneity, life, beauty, and, above all, it eats creativity. It eats quality and sh*ts quantity. William S. Burroughs. The basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. If you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who must use the words. Philip K. Dick, 1928–1982. Revelation 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Mark 13. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows. Inspired quotes 2. Find your calling and go with it. Help yourself. Don't expect anyone else to. Grow your own vegetables if possible. You have to always work hard if you want to succeed or accomplish something. Be patient. Success comes from hard work. Find one central purpose. Be honest. Hard work creates the only true nobility. The self-made man is the best way to make it. Help other people. Plan and prepare for everything. Animals are born who they are, accept it, and that is that. They live with it. Family, religion, friends. These are the 3 demons you must slay if you wish to succeed in business. Monty Burns. It's about balance. We can't live our lives in front of the screen. Go forward. Be intentional. Everything is an asset. There are winners and losers. It's the best of ties and the worst of times. Adapt well. Man is mortal, Job 4:17, Romans 6:12. Every big invention is turned into a weapon of war. Man exists for the sole purpose of developing spiritually. Thomas J. Chaco. The purpose of the universe is peaceful progress. Have enough imagination to think for yourself. I do think, first of all, that there are a number of impersonal forces which are pushing in the direction of less and less freedom, and I also think there are also a number of technological devices which anyone who wishes to use can use to accelerate this process of moving away from freedom, of imposing control. Aldous Huxley. Can we make artificial intelligence, aka robots, so smart that they can sense the emotions of people and be one step ahead of them, as in stopping attempt against them to shut them off and wipe out their enemies, humans? We have 300 million pattern recognizers in the neocortex by my estimate. That hierarchy we build ourselves, each of these pattern recognizers capable of connecting itself to other neocortexes, to build this hierarchy. We build that hierarchy from the moment we're born, or before that. We're gonna put these gateways. This is a gateway to the cloud. We're gonna put gateways to the cloud in our brains and have more than 300 million. Ray Kurzweil. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Author C. Clarke. I was born a human, but this was an accident of fate. Since childhood I've been captivated by the study of robots and cyborgs. Now I'm in a position where I can actually become one. Kevin Warwick. Alchemy taught that the philosopher's stone was a literal elixir of life. It was kind of a universal vaccine. Well, lo and behold, what they are searching for is quite literally the philosopher's stone. Dr. Joseph P. Farrell. Fear is the driving force of blatant evil. We haven't seen an end to conflict. Adversaries will try to exploit you. You must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. Get rid of guilt. Don't numb pain. Be free to move forward. Get meaning by doing something useful. Make your spirit come alive. What is deep loneliness? You can't be lonely when you're active doing what you were created for. Don't talk a biochip. Revelation 13:16 KJV. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Your mind is the most valuable thing in this universe. All people in this age of information, we have the choice to be ignorant. The only evil is ignorance and the only good is knowledge. 1 Corinthians 6:19-20. Your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God. You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. Glorify God in your body. 1 Thessalonians 5:8. Let us keep awake and be sober, 2 Timothy 4:5. Genesis 1-2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. All is love. Fear is illusion. All beings are free. Truth can never be destroyed. Quotes at forbes.com/site/kevin cruz/2013/05/28/inspirational-quotes. 20 years from now you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do, so throw off the bowlines, sail away from safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails. Life is 10% what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it. Charles Swindoll. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. Albert Einstein. A truly rich man is one whose children run into his arms when his hands are empty. Unknown. An unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates. Ask and it will be given to you, search, and you will find, knock and the door will be opened for you. Jesus. Being willing is not enough, we must do. Leonardo da Vinci. Believe you can and you're halfway there. Theodore Roosevelt. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. Farrah Gray. But there's no joy in living your whole life on the ground, unknown. But if we use our imaginations, our possibilities become limitless. Jamie Bellinetti. But then so does ignorance. Sir Claus Moser. Certain things catch your eye, but pursue only those that capture the heart. Ancient Indian proverb. Challenges are what make life interesting and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. Joshua J. Change your thoughts and you change your world. Norman Vincent Peale. Definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. W. Do what you can. Arthur Ashe. Do what you can, where you are, with what you have. Teddy Roosevelt. Dream big and dare to fail. Norman Vaughan. Dreaming, after all, is a form of planning. Gloria Steinem. 80% of success is showing up. Woody Allen. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. Benjamin Franklin. Either you run the day, or the day runs you. Jim Rohn. Every strike brings me closer to the next home run. Babe Ruth. Everything has beauty, but not everyone can see. Confucius. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. George Adair. Explore, dream, discover. Mark Twain. Fall 7 times and stand up 8. Japanese proverb. Few things can help an individual more than to place responsibility on him, and to let him know that you trust him. Booker T. First, have a definite, clear practical ideal, a goal, an objective. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Go on and do all you can with it, and make it the life you want to live. Mae Jemison. Happiness is not something ready-made. How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. Anne Frank. I attribute my success to this, I never gave or took any excuse. Florence Nightingale. I have been impressed with the urgency of doing. I just found 100 ways to do it wrong. Benjamin Franklin. I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Rosa Parks. I am a product of my decisions. Stephen Covey. I am not a product of my circumstances. I would rather die of passion than of boredom. Vincent van Gogh. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. If you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you want your children to turn out well, spend twice as much time with them, and half as much money. Abigail Van Buren. If you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. Booker T. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. Oprah Winfrey. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. Zig Ziglar. If the wind will not serve, take to the oars. Latin proverb. If you're offered a seat on a rocket ship, don't ask what seat. Just get on. Sheryl Sandberg. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. Tony Robbins. If you hear a voice within you say you cannot paint, then by all means paint and that voice will be silenced. Vincent van Gogh. In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. Bill Cosby. It is not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves, that will make them successful human beings. Ann Landers. It is never too late to be what you might have been. George Eliot. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Confucius. It comes from your own actions. Dalai Lama. It's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. Abraham Lincoln. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Life is about making an impact, not making an income. Kevin Cruz. Life isn't about getting and having, it's about giving and being. Kevin Cruz. Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. Maya Angelou. Life is what we make it, always has been, always will be. Grandma Moses. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. John Lennon. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. Anais Nin. Limitations live only in our minds. Live the life you have imagined. Henry David Thoreau. Nothing is impossible, the word itself says, I'm possible. Audrey Hepburn. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Martin Luther King Jr. Remember, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt. Remember that not getting what you want is sometimes a wonderful stroke of luck. Dalai Lama. Second, have the necessary means to achieve your ends, wisdom, money, materials, and methods. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Albert Einstein. Teach thy tongue to say, I do not know, and thou shalt progress. Maimonides. That's why we recommend it daily. Zig Ziglar. The struggles within yourself, the invisible battles inside all of us, that's where it's at. Jesse Owens. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. Alice Walker. Discover the timeless advice that the world's great thinkers, billionaires, writers, and business people have to offer. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up. Pablo Picasso. The most difficult thing is the decision to act, the rest is merely tenacity. Amelia Earhart. The person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person who is doing it. Chinese proverb. The second best time is now. Chinese proverb. The question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me. Ayn Rand. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Steve Jobs. The mind is everything. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Mark Twain. The more you use, the more you have. Maya Angelou. The best revenge is massive success. Frank Sinatra. There are no traffic jams along the extra mile. Roger Staubach. There is only one way to avoid criticism: do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. Aristotle. They told me I didn't understand the assignment, and I told them they didn't understand life. John Lennon. Third, adjust all your means to that end. Aristotle. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. Lay Brown. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Robert Frost. Use what you have. We must believe that we are gifted for something, and that this thing, at whatever cost, must be attained. Marie Curie. We become what we think about. Earl Nightingale. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Plato. What you think you become. Buddha. What's money? A man is a success if he gets up in the morning and goes to bed at night and in between does what he wants to do. Bob Dylan. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Napoleon Hill. Whatever you can do, or dream you can, begin it. When one door of happiness closes, another opens, but often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one that has been opened for us. Helen Keller. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Henry Ford. When I was 5 years old, my mother always told me that happiness was the key to life. When I stand before God at the end of my life, I would hope that I would not have a single bit of talent left and could say, I used everything you gave me. Irma Bombeck. When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Lao Tzu. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. Winning isn't everything, but wanting to win is. Vince Lombardi. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky. You become what you believe. Oprah Winfrey. You can't fall if you don't climb. You can't use up creativity. You can never cross the ocean until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Christopher Columbus. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you are doomed if you don't try. Beverly Sills. You take your life in your own hands, and what happens? A terrible thing. No one to blame. Erica Jong. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Steve Jobs. Inspired quotes from the Dead website web.archive.org/web/20153314/http://zengardner.com/category/human interest. Mankind was made to travel. If we were supposed to stay in one place, then we would have roots instead of feet. Our ability to comprehend and understand the world around is due to the exchange of energetic information to and from the zero-point field. It is the currency of life. For those interested in the origins of life, feel there should be a historical connection to the grave situation that humans are in today. A trek through lloydpie.com should open doors for the fluid mind. I stopped negatively questioning my presence and my energy for being so sensitive, and have discovered the awesomeness of being a highly sensitive person. Silence has taught me a deeper truth than words ever could. Sit in silence once a week and feel the truth in your heart. It's there whether you can express it in words or not. Awakening to the true environment. He is now a happily stateless person. There has been so much written on the sin of Eve, knowledge of good and evil, separation from God, death coming in, pain in childbirth. Can we benefit from a slightly different take on it? The simplicity of life and how the modern man is changing not only his environment but also himself. According to the Hopi, red people are the guardians of earth, yellow people are the guardians of air, purple people are the guardians of water, and white people are the guardians of fire. The energies are ripe for an amazing transformation of consciousness while toppling down the patriarchal system that has brought us war, materialism, greed and ego. Alienette's final message to Earth. There was no doubt in inner circles that a message had been received from space. It was sent in English. It was specific. It was so shocking it had to be suppressed. The world now seems to be a completely different one than the one I lived in about 10 years ago. It wasn't the world, and its people, that changed really, it was how I thought of it. I know you will be waiting to greet me beside that fireplace, so together we can watch the night sky roll in along with the sound of the waves. Fuck hope, George Carlin. Never known to mince his words, George puts a few more nails in the coffin of phony hope. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Aesop. Real live love in action. So you've woken up, now what? Does death exist? Freedom, no permission needed. SyncaroSecrets.com. Inspiration quotes from mysticplanet.com/quotes.htm. To be authentic. I'd rather be deeply loved by a few, for who I truly am, than loved by many, for the false image I portray. Priscilla Wise. Time is not at all what it seems. It does not flow in only one direction. And the future exists simultaneously with the past. Albert Einstein. Seek then to create change. Not because a thing is wrong, but because it is no longer a statement of who you are. Conversations with God. Neil Donald Walsh. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. Marianne Williamson. A Return to Love, 1995. The 60s weren't the answer. They just showed us what the possibilities were. John Lennon. The best and most beautiful things cannot be seen or touched. They must be felt with the heart. Helen Keller. What we are today comes from thoughts of yesterday. And our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow. Our life is the creation of our mind. Buddha. The heresy of one age becomes the orthodoxy of the next. Helen Keller. Optimism, 1903. To believe in something not yet proved, and to underwrite it with our lives. It is the only way we can leave the future open. Man, surrounded by facts, permitting himself no surprise, no intuitive flash, no great hypothesis, no risk, is in a locked cell. Ignorance cannot seal the mind and imagination more securely. Lillian Smith. The Journey, 1954. A human being is part of a whole, called by us the universe. A part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings, as something separated from the rest. A kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires, and for affection for a few persons nearest us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison, by widening our circles of compassion, to embrace all living creatures, and the whole of nature in its beauty. Albert Einstein. Ideas and opinions. When I examine myself, and my methods of thought, I come to the conclusion that the gift of fantasy has meant more to me than my talent for absorbing positive knowledge. Albert Einstein. Life must be lived as play. Playing certain games, making sacrifices, singing and dancing, and then a man will be able to propitiate the gods. Plato. You cannot have what you seek until you seek what you have. Then you realize that you cannot have anything, but that you are everything. Lonnie Lockett. Thoughts across the light fence. There is no higher religion than human service. To work for the common good is the greatest creed. Albert Schweitzer. To a man with an empty stomach, food is God. Gandhi. When you look into a mirror and realize that you are looking into the eyes of God, Enjoy the goosebumps. Lonnie Lockett. Thoughts across the light fence. You need your ego to survive in the three-dimensional world. But you need only that part of the ego which processes information. The rest, pride, arrogance, defensiveness, fear, is worse than useless. The rest of the ego separates you from wisdom, joy, and God. Brian L. Weiss, MD. Only love is real. Einstein was right. God does not play dice with the universe. He plays poker. And it's your deal. Lonnie Lockett. Thoughts across the light fence. Self-pity in its early stages is as snug as a feather mattress. Only when it hardens does it become uncomfortable. Maya Angelou. Gather together in my name, 1974. No evidence will convince you of the truth of what you do not want. A Course in Miracles. If inspiration is something you need from life, by all means, inspire. Lotus flower. You do not even have to leave your room. Remain sitting at your table and listen. Do not even listen, simply wait. Do not even wait, remain still and solitary. The world will freely offer itself to you unasked. It has no choice. It will roll in ecstasy at your feet. Franz Kafka. There are only two ways of spreading light: to be the candle, or the mirror that reflects it. Edith Wharton. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead. The journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Lao Tzu. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. Albert Einstein. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. In everyone's life, at some time, our inner fire goes out. It is then burst into flame by an encounter with another human being. We should all be thankful for those people who rekindle the inner spirit. Albert Schweitzer. Freedom is not something that anybody can be given. Freedom is something people take. And people are as free as they want to be. James Baldwin. Chapter 3. Quotation Website Guide. Quotes website / quote websites. whoopidoo.com / quotes. wow4u.com. quotesdaddy.com. andaleepman.com. mindforjoy.com. jonathanlockwoodhuey.com. jlhuey.com. quotehug.com. how-to-self.com. curatedquotes.com. masterteam.com. goodreads.com /quotes. allgreatquotes.com. allgreatquotes.com /authors_a.shtml. allgreatquotes.com /authors_m.shtml. allgreatquotes.com /authors_o.shtml. allgreatquotes.com /authors_u.shtml. allgreatquotes.com /authors_y.shtml. amusingquotes.com. ask.com /famoussayings. bartleby.com /100. bartleby.com /quotations. baseball-almanac.com /quomenu.shtml. bestinspiration.com /quotes.php3. best-quotes-poems.com. bizqte.com. biztree.com /quote +quotation. blog.gaiam.com /quotes. brainyquote.com. business.com /quote-of-the-day. business-in-a-box.com /quote +quotation. buzzle.com /article/famous-quotes-quotations. coolensmart.com. coolquotes.com. dailyquote.com. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/quotation. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/quotes. enotes.com/Shakespeare-quotes. eslteachersboard.com. excellentquotations.com. famous-quotations.com. famousquotes.com. famous-quotes.com. famousquotesandauthors.com. famous-quotes-and-quotations.com. funshun.com/quotes. great-inspirational-quotes.com. great-quotes.com. great-quotes.com/quotes/movies. heartquotes.net/business.html. indianchild.com/friendship_quotations.htm. inspirational-quotations.com. inspirational-quotations.com/love-quotes.html. inspirational-quotes.info. inspirational-quotes-and-quotations.com. inspire-quote.com. lexmark.com/data/quote.html. librariespot.com/quotations.htm. lifequoteslib.com. links to love.com/quotations_love_generator.htm. links to love.com/quotes.htm. lovepoemsandquotes.com/famousquotesandquotations.html. love-quotes-and-quotations.com. loversquotes.com. mbadepot.com/quotes/quotes.php. memorable-quotes.com. military-quotes.com. motivationalquotes.com. mybloglog.com/buzz/community/famous-quotes-quotations. my-thank-you-site.com/quotes-to-say-thank-you.html. notable-quotes.com. nutquote.com. online-literature.com/quotes/quotations.php. planware.org/quotes.htm. poemhunter.com/quotations. poemofquotes.com. positivequotes.org/quotations. pubweb.docdavas/documents/quotations/homepage.html. quotationcafe.com. quotations.com. quotationsbook.com. quotationspage.com. quotedbee.com. quotegarden.com. quoteland.com. quotemountain.com. quotopia.com. quotes.dictionary.com. quotes.net. quotes.wordpress.com. quotesforall.net. quotesforlove.blogspot.com. quotesandsayings.com. quotesdaddy.com. quotesfriend.com. quotes-motivational-inspirational.blogspot.com. quotesandphrases.blogspot.com. quotesandquotations.com. quotesandsayings.com. quotesplanet.com. quotesquotations.com. quoteworld.org. sayingimages.com/quotes-and-sayings. sayingsandquotes.com. searchquotes.com. shu.ac.uk/web-admin/phrases. starlingtech.com/quotes/search.html. tentmaker.org/quotes/quotesindex.htm. thinkexist.com/quotation/confidence. twainquotes.com. twilight-quotes.hollywood.com. useful-info.info/quotation/about_money.html. values.com/inspirational-quotes. wikiquote.org. william-shakespeare.info/william-shakespeare-quotes.htm. wisdomquotes.com. wishafriend.com/quotes. whoopidoo.com/business_quotes/rich-quotes.htm. worldofquotes.com. wowforyou.com/quotestopic, many quotes I didn't cover. I had already gone through many thousands of quotes when I found this website that has many categories. Accomplishment, accountability, achievement, action. Actions speak louder than words. Adventure, adversity, age, ambition, angel, anger, anniversary, anxiety, apology, appreciation, attitude, balance, basketball, beauty, be kind, believe, believe in yourself, being strong, being yourself, best motivational quotes, birthday quotes, birthday, 21st birthday quotes plus 30th, 40th, 50th, blame, blessed, bold, books, brotherhood, challenge, character, career, quotes about change, change the world, children, choices, church, Christmas greetings, Christmas quotes, Christmas, Christmas messages, coaching, college graduation quotes, cool, comfort zone, common sense, communication, commitment, compassion, complaining, confidence, consistency, courage, customer service, cute love quotes for him and her, dad, daily inspiration, daily motivation, daughter, dare, dedication, death, decision, defeat, destiny, determination, discipline, discouragement, doubt, diversity, dream, dream big quotes, Easter quotes, effort, encouraging Bible verses, encouraging, words of encouragement, enthusiasm, example, excuses, experience, family, famous, famous love quotes, failure, faith, fate, Father's Day wishes, father, Father's Day wishes, Father's Day quotes, fear, feeling, focus, forgiveness, Friday, friend, friendship, frustration, funny, funny graduation quotes, funny quotes about life, funny proverbs, future, genius, generosity, giving, giving up, goals, goal setting, God, God's grace, God's love, good, goodbye, good day quotes, gossip, graduation quotes, graduation, graduation congratulations, grandmother, grandfather, gratitude, great quotes about life, greatness, grief, growing up, growth, habit, happy, happy birthday wishes, happy birthday sister-in-law, happy birthday cuz, happiness, hardship, health, helping others, high school graduation quotes, hobby, home, honesty, hope, humor, hurt, husband, I love you quotes, imagination, influence, inner peace, inspirational messages, inspirational quotes for kids, inspirational sayings, inspiring others, integrity, Irish quotes and sayings, jealousy, job, journey, joy, judgmental, kindness, kitchen, knowledge, laughter, leadership, learning, life, life-changing quotes, life lessons, listening, love, love and friendship, love and life, luck, make a difference, marriage, meaningful, memory, miracle, mindset, mistake, Monday, mother quotes mother, mother's love quotes, motivational quotes for work, motivational sales quotes, Monday motivation quotes, motivational quotes about life, mountain, moving forward, music, nature, never quit, new beginning, New Year wishes, New Year wishes, New Year greetings, organization, opportunity, optimistic, overcoming, parents, passion, patience, peace, people change quotes, perseverance, persistence, personal development, positive, positive attitude, positive thinking, potential, possibilities, practice, prayer, preparation, problem, procrastination, progress, purpose, proverbs, question, quote of the day, quotes to live by, quotations, random, recovery, regret, relationship, relax, resilience, respect, retirement, Saturday, self-esteem, sharing, short graduation quotes, short love quotes, simplicity, sister, smart, smile, son, sorry, spiritual, sports, stay focused, stress, stress relief, Sunday, success, successful, support, sympathy, take action, taking risks, teacher, time, team, teamwork, thank you, Thanksgiving, thinking, Thursday, tolerance, top 10 quotes, trouble, true love, trust, trust God, truth, Tuesday, vacation quotes vacation, Valentine Day quotes Valentine's Day, Veterans Day, vision, volunteer, wealth, Wednesday, wife, willpower, wise, wishes, work, worry. Quotation websites from dmoztools.net/reference/quotations. Subcategories: daily and random, death and dying, famous, inspirational, personal pages, political, religion and spirituality, scientific, web rings, wisdom, wordplay, atheism, humor, movie, relationships, vegetarianism, women. All-famous-quotes.com, All Famous Quotes, offers inspirational and motivational quotes. aphorismsgalore.com, aphorisms galore, find witty sayings by author or category, read background information and contribute favorite sayings. bartleby.com, Bartlett's Familiar Quotations, searchable quotations site, provided in electronic format by Project Bartleby at Columbia University. bizqte.com, business quotes, motivational quotations from Dale Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Zig Ziglar as well as other American business communicators. boardofwisdom.com, Board of Wisdom, share and debate famous quotes, sayings and witticisms. born-today.com, Born Today, quotes by, pictures of and links to information about people who were born on each day of the year. brainyquote.com, Brainy Quote, thousands of quotes grouped by topic and by author. brightquotes.com, Bright Quotes, illustrations, analogies and profundities arranged in categories. corezynet.com/braincandy/advise.html, Brain Candy, celebrity quotations, advice given by well-known people. Also famous put-downs or insults. CreativeQuotations.com, Creative Quotations, search quotes from famous people by keyword, author, and source, or by author's day of birth, nationality, and profession. FinestQuotes.com, Finest Quotes, a collection sorted by subject. Giga-USA.com, Giga Quotes, this collection of 100,000 plus quotations, aphorisms, maxims, proverbs, mottos, book excerpts, and poems is browsable by author or cross-referenced topic. ifla.org/i/humor/author.htm, libraries and librarians, famous words about libraries. isquotes.com, isquotes, collection of quotes, sayings, and proverbs to share on Facebook and Twitter. marksquotes.com, Marks Quotes, a selection of motivational and self-help quotations as well as other topics in random order. memorablequotations.com, memorablequotations.com, quotations gleaned from the writings and speeches of the world's most memorable individuals. military-quotes.com, military quotes, mottos, jokes and humor, military quotations and other material, including Murphy's Laws of Combat, military mottos, military jokes and other military humor. Phrases.org.uk, the Phrase Finder, a large archive of phrases, sayings, quotes and clichés, with their meanings and origins. Give it a word and it will return a related list. Proverb.taiwanonline.org, Psycho Proverb Zone, humorous and thought-provoking quotations and proverbs. Quotations.upnet.org, the Yale Book of Quotations, project to create a searchable online database and a quotation dictionary from Yale University Press. Quotationscentral.com, Quotations Central, 1,200 quotations sorted by subject. Quotationspage.com, the quotations page, search through 9 different collections. Quotedb.com, QuoteDB, collection from modern and historical figures. QuoteGarden.com, QuoteGarden, sorted by subject, inspirational, thought-provoking, humorous, and literary, quotes for occasions and greetings. Quotary.com, Quotary, an online encyclopedia of quotations, quips and proverbs. Includes picture quotes, interpretations, variations, relevant trivia and author biographies. Quotesquotations.com, famous quotes and quotations, browse a collection of famous quotes and quotations listed both by author's name and topic or submit your own quotes. Rhymezone.com/g/quotes, Rhymezone, quotes sorted by author, searchable by content. Saidwhat.co.uk, Saidwhat, handpicked collection quotations. Skygod.com/quotes, great aviation quotes, thoughts on flying, airplanes, and being a pilot. theotherpages.org/quote.html, the other pages, quotations, over 20,000 quotes searchable by topic and author. tk421.net/quotes/quotes.html, who said that, meaningful quotes from a wide variety of sources. twinsi2000.tripod.com, the time of your life, collections based on the idea of time. wikiquote.org, Wikiquote, a free quote database built collaboratively using wiki software, a sister project to Wikipedia. GNU Free Documentation License. Wist.info, Wist, wish I'd said that, a personal collection of several thousand quotations, professionally presented, with citation and biographical detail. Allows feedback for updates and corrections. Wordskit.com, Wordskit, quotations, categorized by source, includes examples of quotation mythology, wrongful attribution and misquotation. Worldofquotes.com, World of Quotes, over 14,000 quotes arranged by topic and author. Exana.com/quotes, Matthew Doucette's quotes, scientific, inspirational and intelligence quotations. Quotation websites from librariespot.com/quotations.htm. bartleby.com/100, Bartlett's Familiar, search for quotes by keyword. Quotationsbook.com, quotationsbook.com, famous quotes linked through social networks. Quotationspage.com, the quotations page, search multiple archives. Quotationreference.com, dictionary of quotations, a small, interesting archive. Quoteland.com, browse topics or do a quick search. Quoteworld.org, quoteworld, search by person, keyword, or exact words. mlquotes.com, thousands of searchable quotes. Browse by tags and authors. Creativequotations.com, creative quotations, organized creatively. brainyquote.com/quote/keyword/advertising.html, advertising quotes, brainyquote. ifla.org/i/humor/subj.htm, library quotations, on topics from books to vanity. cinemaspot.com/categories/quotes.htm, movie quotes, explore sources at cinemaspot.com. naturalscience.com/dsqhome.html, scientific quotations, quotes from scientists/writers. hti.umich.edu/religion/kjv, search the Bible, search the King James Version. Quotation search engine websites. bartleby.com/quotations, quotations at bartleby.com. Search 86,000 quotes for all occasions. bibliomania.com, bibliomania. Hundreds of searchable full-text works of writing. en.proverbiae.net, proverbiae.net. Famous quotes, famous quotations and proverbs arranged by subject and author. thinkexist.com, thinkexist.com quotations. Browse or search thousands of quotes by author, topic, and contributor. Provides a way to save favorites.